Chapter 297. After the ceremony, Grandpa Xing immediately called the butler of the Xing family and got an answer from him. Miss Minglan has moved out. I couldn't stop her no matter what. I understand. Grandpa Xing took a deep breath. He had to admit that he was worried enough about his grandchildren. But how could he not worry? Did Xing Xiao ever think about the future of Huang Yao when he brought Mu Qiqi back, who was useless to him? And now that the scandal of the Xing family was out, there was no telling how long people would laugh at them. So, was Xing Minghui really happy after she got engaged to the Englishman? She would probably find a hole to hide in after the ceremony and never come out again. But she still had to face the guests. After entering the lounge, she cried even more miserably. Grandpa, how could fourth sister treat me like that in front of everyone? She treated you the same way you treated her. Moreover, you should be satisfied that fourth sister has moved out of the Xing family. Grandpa Xing was so angry that his chest hurt. Xing Minghui stopped crying when she heard that. Wasn't it a good thing that Xing Minglan moved out? She was the only granddaughter in the Xing family now. Wouldn't Grandpa Xing love her even more? And if Xing Minglan left the Xing family, it meant that she was no longer the young lady of the Xing family. She had given up on the protection of the Xing family. Was that what he meant? Don't ever come back if you can. After arguing with Grandpa Xing, Xing Minghui returned to the banquet hall. But when she saw the mocking looks from the guests, she felt terrible all over. She really stole sister's fiancé and slandered her sister for having a bad lifestyle. How could there be such a bitch in the Xing family? Isn't that right? If I were her, I would have killed myself on the spot to get back some dignity. I really didn't expect that she still has the face to get engaged to the Englishman. She's the most shameless person in Jianchuan. The guests were mocking her everywhere in the washroom. But what could Xing Minghui do? She never thought that Xing Minglan could be so ruthless. She was bitterly disappointed. Finally, I see seventh sister getting hurt. Fourth sister was so cool just now. Mu Qiqi had a private discussion with Xing Xiao after lunch. Shouldn't we retire after we've succeeded? Go and tell Grandpa that we are going to celebrate the establishment of fourth sister's new company. Fourth sister's new company is being established today too? Mu Qiqi covered her mouth in surprise. Then let's hurry. With that, Mu Qiqi pulled Xing Xiao to old Xing. Xing Minghui was there too. It's about time we should go. Xing Xiao, you must have laughed at me behind my back. Seventh sister said sourly. Especially Qiqi. You're so happy. Don't try to shift your hatred to someone else. You should be thankful that I didn't do anything today. If I had interfered, don't you know what would have happened to you? Xing Xiao mocked Xing Minghui, ignoring the fact that she had hurt Mu Qiqi. Xing Minghui said nothing. All right, that's enough, Grandpa Xing said to Xing Xiao. Let's go back. There's no point in staying here anyway. Grandpa, Xing Xiao smiled and led Mu Qiqi out of the hotel. But Xing Minghui did not stop complaining. Grandpa, fourth sister has always been gentle. Don't you think it's strange that she suddenly exploded? It's all because of you. Just stop. Don't cause trouble for Mu Qiqi before the VVIP night. I don't need you to attract hatred for me anymore. Yes, Grandpa. Xing Minghui said angrily. Everything depended on the VVIP night of Huang Yao. Although she had been trampled on by Xing Minglan today, she would make Xing Minglan regret it one day. On the other hand, Xing Minglan had officially moved out of the Xing family and announced the establishment of a new company. And now, she was at the entrance of the new company, holding a ribbon-cutting ceremony with the other shareholders. It was not a big deal to leave the Xing family, because from today onwards she would rely on herself. As for the old man, he wouldn't dare to come over and obstruct them openly. She had to admit that she had purposely blown things up today. She wanted everyone to know that Grandpa Xing owed her. And because of that, Grandpa Xing did not dare to interfere too much with her decision. Soon, Xing Xiao and the other two arrived at Xing Minglan's important moment. But they did not approach her and watched from afar. It was only when the event was over that Mu Qiqi greeted Xing Minglan. Fourth sister. Why are you so late? We have been watching from the side. Xing Xiao raised a brow at her. You left just now and missed everyone's applause. I think I should make it up to you now. Xing Minglan laughed and punched Xing Xiao's chest. Don't make fun of me. Xing Xiao smiled and approached Xing Minglan. He whispered into her ear so that Jing Yun could not hear. To celebrate the establishment of your new company, I have a gift for you. What is it? Didn't you want to know who that Zhao Lin is before? She's right beside me. Xing Xiao did not put it bluntly, but Xing Minglan understood. What Xing Xiao meant was that the owner of the gold card was Jing Yun. What do you think? Do you like this gift? Since you've given me one, You wouldn't mind if I ask for another one, would you? Xing Minglan was being generous now. My new company has just been established and I lack an experienced assistant. If you really want to give me a gift, I want Jing Yun. Jing Yun, who was standing beside them, was stunned. Xing Xiao, however, appeared prepared. Well, it depends on whether you have the ability to make Jing Yun agree. Just wait and see. Mu Qiqi watched as the siblings chatted and laughed, and suddenly felt that Xing Minglan's brilliance as the CEO could not be concealed. Xing Minglan's aura had also changed from the tactful and forbearing Xing Minglan to a domineering woman with an indestructible body. You can start hooking up right now. With those words, Xing Minglan turned with Mu Qiqi and told Jing Yun, "You stay." Jing Yun was speechless. Xiao Qi's Huang Yao VVIP night. Just let me know if you need anything. Xing Minglan shouted at their backs. But Xing Xiao waved her off, gesturing that Cheer did not need any help. Jing Yun was left to face Xing Minglan alone. Miss Minglan. Chapter 298. Looking at Xing Minglan's smile, Jing Yun knew that it was a poison that looked like a candy. So he replied, "You've gained your freedom after much difficulty. It's not worth it if you lose it because of me. The company has just started. I do need a helper by my side." Xing Minglan knew that Jing Yun was a very serious person. Once he teased someone, he would become serious. It was really frustrating. So she changed her tone to a businesslike one. There are many talents in the world. Miss Minglan would definitely be able to find someone capable. Then should I find a man? To be with me day and night? Jing Yun was speechless. It's fine if he's a good person. But, what if it's someone like Will? Or even Lung Feng? Xing Minglan made Jing Yun speechless. He could only admit defeat. Now that Xing Minglan was not with the Sheng family, she could not get the direct protection of Huang Yao. "I'll help you for 2 months. I'll leave after you've mastered everything." "All right." Xing Minglan flashed a victorious smile. Although she knew that it was too much to test Jing Yun step by step, Jing Yun was a man who had no other tricks up his sleeves. He was just that restrained, stubborn, and loyal. Xing Minglan suddenly felt the urge to cry when she thought of the money in the gold card. It was probably all Jing Yun's savings in his life, not for anything else. He had already handed over his wife's account. But he still had no intention of dating. Jing Yun was probably the dumbest person in the world. On the other hand, Xing Minghui's engagement ceremony ended hastily after a grand ceremony. After all, Grandpa Xing did not want to stay in the hotel and be criticized by others. Moreover, he had yet to settle the score with Xing Minghui. So, when Xing Minghui stepped through the front door of the Xing family, she was met with Grandpa Xing's punishment. Xing Minghui was taken aback. She glanced at her fiancé. "Help me." "Oh, Grandpa, don't do that." Will quickly stood in front of Xing Minghui. "Get out of my way." Grandpa Xing said directly to Will. "This is an internal affair of the Sheng family. You are not a true member of the Sheng family yet. Just watch from the side." Helpless, Will dodged aside, while Grandpa Xing walked up to Xing Minghui and slapped her. "You've stolen your fourth sister's fiancé, slandered her and forced her to leave, shaming the Sheng family. Do you think I won't settle this score with you?" Xing Minghui's eyes widened. "Grandpa." Xing Minghui wanted to resist, but she did not have the guts. "Do you still want to quibble?" With that, the old man hit him with the rod again. "Grandpa, what if I get pregnant soon? Aren't you afraid of injuring my body by hitting me like this?" When the old man heard this, he hit her again. "I know very well where I hit. I can't hurt your stomach." When Xing Minghui saw that her attack was useless, she knelt on the ground. "You can kill me for someone who has left the family?" Grandpa Xing got even angrier after hearing that. He attacked even more fiercely. "I really want to kill you. Don't think that I won't dare to do anything to you. I've spoiled you too much. That's why you're so arrogant. How dare you sacrifice your own sister? Go kneel in the Xing family's ancestral hall for 3 days. Otherwise, get out of the Xing family." "Grandpa, there is no room for negotiation. Kneel or get out." Xing Minghui was resentful. But she did not dare to disobey or resist. The skin on her back was torn. But Grandpa Xing did not send anyone to get her a doctor. He did not allow anyone to touch her these days. Compared to Xing Minghui's sadness, Xing Minghui's pain was nothing. Unfortunately, Xing Minghui might not want to return to the Xing family for the rest of her life. On the other hand, although Xing Minghui was kneeling in the ancestral hall, Will secretly went to see her. He even brought her food. "How dare the old man treat me like this? I am his granddaughter. It's fine if he is biased towards fourth sister. We can still fight." Look, no matter how forgiving Grandpa Xing was toward her, as long as he sided with Xing Minglan once, Xing Minghui would lose her balance and become unreasonable. Mama Xing told Xing Xiao about Seventh Sister's punishment of kneeling in the ancestral hall the next day, but Xing Xiao only sneered after he heard about it. Now that Seventh Sister has will, she would only be more unbridled in the Sheng family. The old man had only punished Fourth Sister to kneel in the ancestral hall after she was hurt so badly. If Seventh Sister has a son or daughter, no one would have a good life in the future. Yes, your grandfather always seems biased towards you. But the truth is he just wants to control you the most. He never cares about your feelings. You still know. Xing Xiao smiled. Eighth brother, I know that your grandfather has caused your fourth sister to be in this state. If you and Mu Qiqi are to get married in the future, it will not be easy. However, I will always be on your side. No matter what your grandfather wants to do, I will do my best to protect Mu Qiqi. Mom, remember what you said today. If something happens to us, you must protect Qi first. Mama Xing nodded solemnly. She knew what Mu Qiqi meant to Xing Xiao. She was half his life. How's the preparation for Xiao Qi's VVIP night? Let's wait for 2 more days. When Qi has confirmed something, let the planning department have a meeting with her. She will need to use some resources. Okay, I will arrange it. Mama Xing said and left her son's office. Of course, she had to wait outside during the meeting. Otherwise, the planning department would bully her little wife because she was only 18 years old. Since she had promised her son, she would do her best to fulfill it. As a mother, she only wanted her son to be happy at this age. Nothing else mattered. Xing Minghui knelt in the ancestral hall for 3 whole days. On the day she came out of the hall, she heard that Mu Qiqi was going to have a meeting with the planning department of Huangyao. I really don't know what grandfather is thinking. Handing such an important matter to a girl. Isn't he afraid that the VVIP night of Huangyao will be turned into a child's play? What was even more ridiculous was that she wanted to take Mu Qiqi's credit. If Mu Qiqi did not have Xing Xiao by her side, she would be nothing. Huangyao would only be her dream in her next life. Since you are out, you better behave yourself. Grandpa Xing warned Xing Minghui. Grandfather, I heard that Mu Qiqi is going to Huangyao for a meeting. Chapter 299. What was Mu Qiqi waiting for? She wanted to make sure that eldest Lu could find the whereabouts of the jewelry and was confident enough to get it. After getting the answer, Mu Qiqi took a day off from school and went to Huangyao for a meeting. She was a little nervous when she thought about it. After all, it was the place where Xiao Xiao had been fighting. Now that she was going there, it was a strange feeling. The meeting starts at 9 o'clock. Mom's secretary will be your assistant. She will help you print out the documents and coordinate. Mom will be there too? Mom will be at the door. She is afraid that you will be nervous. But she is more afraid that you will be bullied. Xing Xiao adjusted the collar of Mu Qiqi's coat. Then he hugged her and kissed her on the forehead. You can take charge without me, right? Of course. Mu Qiqi smiled and waved the documents in her hand. Xing Xiao did not read the proposal because he trusted his little one. Then they got into the car and went to Huangyao. When they arrived at Huangyao, Xing Xiao held Mu Qiqi's hand as they walked through the door. The employees of Huangyao were overjoyed when they saw the legendary bride. All these years, everyone had been guessing what kind of woman could win the crown prince's heart. They had guessed all kinds of women, but they did not expect it to be a 19-year-old girl. In Huangyao, some of the talented women were upset when they found out that they had lost to a little girl. Moreover, not only did she win their idol, she even came to the company for a meeting because she was the planner of Huangyao's latest VVIP event. What a fantasy world. Everyone watched as Xing Xiao led Mu Qiqi to the meeting room and sent her to the door. When Mama Sheng's secretary saw Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi, she went up to them and greeted them respectfully. Crown Prince, young madam. I will leave her to you. Xing Xiao kissed Mu Qiqi's forehead and left the meeting room. Young madam, the planning department is on standby. Do you have any documents that you need me to prepare for you? Please make copies of these for me. Mu Qiqi handed the documents to the secretary. Since she was Mama Sheng's secretary, she naturally trusted her. About 2 minutes later, the secretary returned to Mu Qiqi with the documents and said, It's almost time. Let's go in. How many people are there in the planning department? About 15. 15 people, and not one of them can come up with an outstanding proposal? The secretary smiled and pushed the door open for Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi walked in and saw a group of lifeless employees. This was the current planning department of Huangyao. There was no vitality at all. Among them there were 4 old employees, all male, 4 female, and the rest were all young men. Muchichi could see from their eyes that they did not trust her at all. Of course she was young and a layman. How could she shoulder such a heavy responsibility? However, Muchichi did not mind their amused gazes, and simply had her secretary pass down the copied documents. But this kind of untidy plan really made people have no desire to open it. But Muchichi was not in a hurry. She walked to the main seat and greeted everyone. "Hello everyone. I am Muchichi, the planner of Huang Yao's VVIP night. I hope that you can take care of me in the next 10 days. Then there was a soft round of applause. Now, here is the content of the event that I am going to talk about. Please take a look at it. Miss Mu, there is no way to read such a plan. One of the old employees started to pick holes in the plan. This is not done by a professional. You can't let us get the key information in a simple way. I'm very worried about this event. Aren't you still worried without me?" Muchichi was not afraid of the old man taking advantage of his seniority. "You said that there is no way to read this plan? Have you opened it? What is written on the first page?" The old man did not expect such a sharp response from Muchichi. He was stunned. "Let's do it this way. I know that at this moment, it is indeed a bit difficult for all of you who have worked for a few years or even decades, to listen to a little girl like me talk about planning. Close all the plans and let's get to know each other first." The secretary was worried for Muchichi. She knew that although the people in the planning department could not come up with a plan, they were still old foxes. They looked down on others just because of their seniority. What's more, Muchichi was an outsider. "Miss Mu, forgive me for being blunt. You are a forensic student. Do you even know what a plan is? If you know about planning, haven't Huang Yao been stagnant for so many years?" Muchichi retorted. "The purpose of Huang Yao's VVIP night is to repay the distinguished guests who have taken good care of Huang Yao over the past year. It is also to promote the event and warm up for the next event. Not only do we have to make the old customers feel that they are still respected, but we also have to make the new guests feel that Huang Yao's service is as good as diamonds. Which one of these have you achieved? I have read the briefings of your department for the past 3 years. Is your brain empty? You have no idea at all. You are just following the tradition. While you are doubting me, think about what you have done in your position." Muchichi's words hit the nail on the head. The old man was speechless and could only shut up. Why does Grandpa want to use a newbie like me this time? It is simple. He feels that there is no need to keep the planning department. Everyone has been racking their brains to keep their jobs. But year after year, you have been doing it half-heartedly. Do you really think that Grandpa is a fool? So he asked me, a newbie, to give you a reminder. If you continue like this, will you believe it? Next year, the people sitting here for the meeting will not have me, and neither will you. After hearing Muchichi's words, everyone began to feel fearful. So, it's up to you whether or not you want to cooperate with me. If you're willing to cooperate, I'll take full responsibility if anything goes wrong. But if you don't want to cooperate, then I advise you to apply for resignation after you walk out of here. Otherwise you'll be fired and lose face. The secretary was standing beside Muchichi. She was completely stunned when she heard what she said. What a beautiful show of kindness and power. She was indeed the crown prince's fiancée. So, what do you choose? The 15 people looked at each other. In the end, they chose to cooperate with Muchichi. Chapter 300. If you had done this earlier, you wouldn't have wasted everyone's time. Muchichi retracted her sharp gaze. Then, everyone started to open the proposal in their hands. At the same time, Muchichi began to explain. In recent years, the most important reason to stop Huang Yao's activities is because of the grudge between the sisters-in-law of the Liu family. As long as they are together, they will definitely make the whole banquet unpleasant. Because they are all distinguished guests of Huang Yao, we can't just invite one of them. It's understandable that you are afraid. But why didn't anyone think of solving this problem? We are just nobodies. How can we have the guts? Some people finally began to express the helplessness in their hearts. Those with power and influence don't even see us as human beings. As long as we make a mistake, we will lose our jobs. Who doesn't have a family waiting to feed? What I'm concerned about is, have you thought of solving it? Muchichi asked again patiently. Everyone looked at each other and shook their heads. All right. Have you finished reading my proposal? Everyone lowered their heads and buried themselves in Muchichi's proposal again. When page after page of activity schedules appeared in front of everyone, almost everyone's eyes had already completed the process of going from being dull to being excited. Wonderful. Really? What a smart idea. Excellent. Everyone began to praise her in unison. Why didn't you think of separating the two of them into 2 different venues? If they don't meet each other, they will naturally not quarrel or cause trouble. In the past, we had to consider the budget and cost. But if we combine the VIPs of Huangyao with the publicity this time, we can save on the budget. The publicity department will also cooperate and we will have more resources. Seeing that everyone agreed with her proposal, Mu Chichi began to explain in detail. Eldest young Master Lu has already agreed to cooperate and found the precious jewelry that was auctioned in Huangyao, which is equivalent to Huangyao's classic diamond series. The most popular thing now is retro. I've also seen the latest trend abroad. It's a cycle of 10 years and it's time for the classic and retro series to make their debut. That's right. On the other hand, second madam's focus is on the young range. Let her outshine all the others and she won't care about quarrels or grudges anymore. I know second madam well. She likes new things the most, so she also represents vitality. Letting her try on the new products can satisfy her vanity, and at the same time, promote it. As for this side, arrange for people to prepare. There must be something in common between the two events. That is, the images of the other party's event will be displayed on the screens. This will give people the illusion that Huangyao is holding the same event, but in two different spaces. Most importantly, the entire event must be kept secret. There is no need to leave the address of the event in the invitation letter, because the people from Huangyao will personally pick them up. This will prevent the information of the two venues from being leaked, and also ensure that the guests are sent to different venues, especially eldest Madame Lu and youngest Madame Lu. Also, since it is the night of giving back, we must show Huangyao's sincerity. When the new products are released, we must give the guests the gifts they like and be considerate. What about giving discounts? The people in the planning department began to have questions. Rich people don't care about money. If you give them discounts, it will be an insult to them. So, improving the quality of service is the key, Mu Chichi answered directly. Miss Mu is right. I've met a couple of rich ladies who went to buy something. At that time the item was already sold out. The salesperson told them that they could exchange it for something else, and they would give them discounts. In the end, the rich ladies threw money at them because they were not short of money. Slowly, everyone's attitude towards this 19-year-old girl began to change. First of all, she would take care of everything. She would first understand the details, and before doing anything she would be fully prepared. Second of all, she was brave and smart. Moreover, she was bold and sharp. In the end, a 19-year-old girl had won against all of them, who had worked for most of their lives. This made the people in the planning department feel ashamed. On the other hand, Mama Sheng's secretary had not seen the planning department being so energetic for a long time. The meeting lasted for 2 hours, but everyone learned a lot. In the end, Mu Chichi made arrangements for the people in the planning department according to what they were good at. She even warned them mischievously, "To be honest, Grandpa sent me here because he wants me to embarrass myself with you. If you want to ensure that the event goes smoothly, don't let anyone find out about the plan. We must keep it a secret. If I'm framed, then this event will be very difficult. Don't worry, Miss Mu. Let me ask you one last question. Did the Crown Prince give you these things?" Mu Chichi was about to answer when Xing Xiao finished his meeting. He came in from the door. In fact, he had been standing at the door for a while. Everyone watched as he walked up to the staff and casually flipped through the proposal. Although I see her tinkering with it every day, this is the first time I've seen the content. Do you think she needs me to teach her? Everyone laughed when they heard that. I'm afraid she doesn't need to. Then why don't you just trust your intuition? Is that enough? I'm going to bring my little one to lunch. Go ahead, Crown Prince. Goodbye, Miss Mu. Everyone closed the document and stood up. Take care of your documents. Everyone keep a low profile. Before Mu Chichi left, she reminded everyone that she was not guarding against anyone. It was just the scheming old man. Mama Sheng's secretary followed behind them. She admired Mu Chichi from the bottom of her heart. When they were far away, she returned to Mama Sheng. "Madam, are you really not going to consider working in Huangyao? It is my first time seeing the planning department being so active. Moreover, young madam's way of solving problems is really ingenious." "Really?" Mama Sheng smiled. Her ingenuity is totally different from the Crown Prince's style. The Crown Prince is cynical. But young madam is full of energy and initiative. Everything she does is to promote Huangyao. She is really not simple. Mama Sheng was looking forward to how exciting the VVIP night of Huangyao would be after hearing the secretary's praise of Mu Chichi. The Crown Prince has good taste. I can understand why he likes young madam so much now. The other departments did not know what Mu Chichi had said to them in the meeting room. But when they entered the meeting room, the planning department was like a dead fish. But now they came back to life. It was unbelievable. Chapter 301. Grandpa Sheng was waiting for the employees of Huang Yao, especially the planning department, to complain about Mu Chichi. But to his surprise, nothing happened. The planning department even dragged the publicity department into it. Everyone was carrying out the event in an orderly manner. Grandpa Sheng found it unbelievable. So, when Mama Sheng got home, he called her into the study and asked, "Is the VVIP event already in preparation?" "Yes, it's going well." Mama Sheng answered. "Mu Chichi planned it?" "Yes, father." Mama Sheng nodded. Eighth brother must have intervened. Mu Chichi planned it all by herself. Eighth brother did not interfere at all. Mama Sheng answered in a neither servile nor overbearing manner. "Didn't you ask Mu Chichi to do this to test her ability? Or is it that you want to see her being ridiculed?" "What are you talking about? I'm just surprised. Since everything is going well, let's see how the VVIP night turns out. Also, I heard that fourth sister has set up a new company." After hearing that, Mama Sheng looked at Grandpa Sheng seriously and asked sincerely, "Father, do you think that fourth sister still cares about the Sheng family? Let's not talk about anything else, but regarding seventh sister's matter, you're too biased towards her. Since you've set fourth sister free, don't meddle in her private affairs anymore. Otherwise she might really be forced into a corner by you. Fourth sister has always been a good child. What kind of grudge could force her to cut her wrist? Don't you know it in your heart?" Grandpa Sheng had nothing to say, because he owed Sheng Minglan too much in this matter. And seventh sister. She is the only granddaughter in the family now. When fourth sister was around, she was spoiled and arrogant. Now that fourth sister is gone, she is even more lawless. Father, I'm not afraid of you saying that I am a busybody. If this goes on, seventh sister will get into trouble sooner or later. Grandpa Sheng took a deep breath and nodded. "You can leave now. Let me think about it." He must not interfere with Sheng Minglan's matter anymore. Otherwise, as Mama Sheng said, fourth sister might be driven to death. Remembering what seventh brother had been doing recently, old Sheng's heart began to ache again. However, he reaped what he sowed. After Sheng Minglan founded her new company, Jing Yun kept his promise and transferred from Huang Yao to Sheng Minglan's new company. However, everything was still not on track due to the establishment of the new company. That was why Sheng Minglan did not get a chance to talk to him even though they were in the same office for the first 2 days. "Chief Sheng, please sign here." Jing Yun put a pile of documents in front of Sheng Minglan. "These are the confirmed partners. I've already signed the contract. Now I'm waiting for you to sign it. It's time to get off work. Let's have a meal together." Sheng Minglan took the documents and said to Jing Yun, "I have a dinner party tonight. Are you talking about cooperation as well?" Sheng Minglan asked. Jing Yun did not say anything, which meant that he agreed. "If that's the case, let's go together. I've been enjoying the fruits of your labor for the past few days. You didn't even give me a chance to do anything. You've done everything and delivered it to me. Are you in such a hurry to get rid of me?" Sheng Minglan sounded disappointed. "Chief Sheng, every step you take now must be steady. Because without the protection of the Sheng family, the outside world will not give you any face." Ahem. Sheng Minglan was about to explain when she inadvertently coughed twice. Jing Yun was taken aback. "I'm sorry. I was too impatient. Let's deal with this tomorrow. It's late now. I'll send you home first." "I'm just a little tired." Jing Yun stayed up late. She stayed up late too. It was just that Jing Yun did not know. "Let's go." Jing Yun did not allow her to resist. He took her coat and dragged her to the parking lot of the company. "The chairman should know about the establishment of your new company. But with Madam covering for you, there shouldn't be any threats for the time being. As long as Miss Minglan doesn't come looking for trouble." Sheng Minglan said nothing. She simply sat in the car and soon fell asleep on the seat. Jing Yun saw that she had fallen asleep. He did not wake her up when they reached home. He just stayed by her side without a word. But Sheng Minglan slept until midnight. When she woke up, it was already 1 o'clock in the morning. Sheng Minglan was startled. She looked at Jing Yun. "Why didn't you wake me up? I saw that you were sleeping soundly. Let's go back. I've rescheduled the meeting." Sheng Minglan looked out of the car window. It was quiet. Then she looked around. There were no passers-by. So, she turned to Jing Yun and said, "Although it seems like I'm not being reserved, I still want to do it." With that, Sheng Minglan hugged him. Seeing that Jing Yun was struggling, she threatened him. "If you dare to move, I'll kiss you." Jing Yun immediately became obedient. "I've been very tired these days. But I'm also very happy. Especially when I see you in front of me. I feel very safe." At that, Jing Yun's hand subconsciously wrapped around Xing Minglan's waist. Go and rest. Xing Minglan took a deep breath. Satisfied, she pushed the door open and got out of the car. Bring me along for the next meeting. Jing Yun nodded. But his hand was still very unnatural. Because there was still Xing Minglan's warmth and scent on it. With that, Xing Minglan turned and went upstairs. Jing Yun quickly left the apartment. Being with her, it was too dangerous. Really too dangerous. Meanwhile in Jingting, the heated battle had just ended. Xing Xiao was cleaning up the battlefield. He also cleaned the little woman who was exhausted from the inside out. He wanted her to be dry and comfortable. Did I not do well? I even had to endure your beating. Mu Chichi complained. You're my woman. Of course you're doing well. But that doesn't stop me from finding excuses to want you at any time. Xing Xiao carried her from the bathroom back to the big bed. Little one, when you get more and more attention, I will also become proud. Well, I'll forgive you for the beating tonight since you're praised by the Crown Prince of Huangyao. Don't act like you're the victim. Xing Xiao sneered. He sat on the bed and pulled the little one into his arms. Grandpa will definitely make a move during Huangyao's event. You have to be careful. Do you think I'm still naive? I'm going to believe his nonsense. Mu Chichi drew circles on Xing Xiao's body. But if the event is a success, you have to promise me one thing. There's no need for the event. I can promise you now. After all, I'm all yours. That's different. That's the fruit of victory. Mu Chichi snorted. Chapter 302. Xing Minghui soon found out that Xing Minglan had started a company. Now she had something to do. Xing Minglan had humiliated her during her engagement ceremony. She did not dare to go out now. No matter what, she had to make Xing Minglan suffer. Did they think that their business would be so easy after leaving the Xing family? There was no such thing. So, she sent someone to investigate Xing Minglan's company, and learned that Xing Minglan was looking for partners everywhere. Grandfather doesn't care about fourth sister now. It's simple. He just has to use her identity as the seventh daughter of the Xing family to pressure Xing Minglan's business partner. Everything would be fine since fourth sister is not with the Xing family now. Grandpa Xing thought that Xing Minghui would restrain herself, so he called her to the study. Your fourth sister has set up her own company. If you still have a conscience, don't go there and cause trouble. Grandpa, why are you looking at me like that? I also hope that fourth sister is well. I really couldn't tell. Grandpa Xing snorted coldly with his hands behind his back. Also, Huang Yao's event is just around the corner. Mu Chichi has already made arrangements with the planning department. Don't go and ruin it. When the time comes, just take over her credit. When the time comes, I will also announce to the public that you are the planner of this event. Eighth brother will definitely make a scene. The Xing family's business should be taken over by the Xing family in the first place. Why would he be making a fuss? Old Xing thought so matter-of-factly. Alright Grandpa, I know what to do. Mu Chichi was just used and bullied. No matter how uncomfortable eighth brother was, he could only go to Grandpa Xing to cause trouble. He could not blame her. If she guessed correctly, Grandpa wanted her to take over the director position of the planning department after the VVIP night. That would mean that she had officially entered Huangyao. With Will's help, she thought that everything would be smooth sailing in Huangyao in the future. In comparison, weren't Xing Minglan and Mu Chichi too pitiful? However, she could make the two of them even more miserable. At night, Jing Yun brought Xing Minglan to the banquet, because it was a chance for Xing Minglan to grow rapidly. However, when they were on the way to the hotel, they received a call from the other party, saying that they had found another partner, and that they would not be discussing the contract this time. Jing Yun parked the car by the side and immediately called the relevant staff. His subordinates said that this matter was very sudden. When they contacted him in the afternoon, they were still willing to cooperate. Jing Yun's face darkened and Xing Minglan seemed to have guessed something. I was so anxious to discuss a few more collaborations with you because I didn't want a situation like today to happen again. It's fine. I know seventh sister won't let it go so easily. I don't have the protection of the Xing family now, so aren't I at her mercy? I'll tell young master about this. As for the rest, we need to make sure that there are no changes to the other contracts. Xing Minglan nodded. She was not as angry or discouraged as Jing Yun had imagined. In other words, she had already made up her mind. However, the business partners who were discussing seemed to be deliberately toying with the two of them. At first, they agreed, but when it was time to talk about cooperation, they said that they had found another company. This happened 4 times in a row. He had many ways to help Xing Minglan in business, be it connections or anything else. But if the Sheng family were to suppress him, he would be helpless in that aspect. That was why he had to tell Xing Xiao about this. Only when Xing Xiao came forward could seventh sister restrain herself. Of course, Xing Xiao did not intend to go back to the Sheng family and complain to Grandpa Xing just like that. He had prepared a few good scenes, even having Xing Minglan pretend to be hospitalized and sick. After a few nights, Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi purposely went back to Xing Mansion for dinner. Grandpa Xing appeared to be disgusted, but he did not say anything since he was still using Mu Qiqi. Xing Xiao, I called Minglan last night. She's in the hospital. What happened? Mama Xing began her first act. Xing Xiao leaned back on his chair and did not answer. It was Mu Qiqi who spoke. Mother, fourth sister is sick. What's wrong? The old man was nervous and stood up from the chair. I thought you couldn't wait for her to die. Xing Xiao snorted coldly. Speak properly, Xing Xiao. What happened to your fourth sister? Fourth sister has set up her own company. You should have heard about this a long time ago. But you should know what kind of person your seventh sister is. Fourth sister is not in the Sheng family now, and without the protection of the Sheng family, our seventh sister sent someone to oppress her. Fourth sister was so angry that she was hospitalized. Isn't that what you want? After hearing that, Grandpa Sheng looked at Sheng Minghui. What did you do to fourth sister this time? Grandpa, do you believe everything Xing Xiao says? It doesn't matter if he believes it or not. Fourth sister is out there and in a bad situation. Her fiancé was stolen and sold by her grandfather. Do you think she would rather die than go back to the Sheng family when she's so hurt? There's no point in talking about this. Grandpa Sheng would believe seventh sister in the end anyway. If that's the case, let fourth sister die outside. Everyone will be happy. What nonsense are you talking about? Grandpa Sheng slammed his fist on the table. Don't pretend to love fourth sister in front of me. Don't you know that your seventh sister is a person who bites the hand that feeds her? Fourth sister humiliated her at her engagement party. Do you think she would let her go? Xing Xiao sneered. You're the only one in the Xing family who believes in her nonsense. With that, Xing Xiao served the dishes to Mu Qiqi and stopped talking about Xing Minglan. But Grandpa Xing kept it in his heart and asked seventh sister, did you ask someone to cause trouble for your fourth sister? Grandpa, tell me. You know the consequences if I find out. Grandpa Xing pointed at seventh sister with his walking stick. Seventh sister was so frightened that she stood up and took 2 steps back. I just asked my friend to take care of fourth sister. I didn't want to hurt her. Come here. Grandpa Xing said calmly after getting the answer. Grandpa, come here. Grandpa Xing beckoned with his finger. Chapter 303. Xing Minghui was shocked. Grandpa, how could you do this to me? If you can do this to your fourth sister, why can't I do the same to you? Grandpa Xing raised his voice and asked Xing Minghui in return. There's no room for discussion. I'd like to see what else you can do to use the Sheng family to do whatever you want. Xing Minghui lay on the floor and looked at everyone at the dining table. Then she burst into tears. All of you only know how to bully me. All of you bully me. Xing Xiao had been eating elegantly from start to finish. He did not even want to look at Xing Minghui. Mu Qiqi looked at Xing Xiao and held his hand. She felt a little more at ease. Little one, what are you afraid of? I'm not afraid. I'm just a little emotional. She and Mu Tangxue had been like this before. Of course, she should not only see the negative side. After all, there were many people around her who treated her wholeheartedly. Xing Xiao asked the people in Huangyao to take care of Minglan. That was more like a human. When Xing Minghui heard that, she got up from the ground and ran back to her room in tears. And because of Xing Minghui's behavior recently, Grandpa Sheng had started to consider if he should let her take over the planning department after the VVIP night of Huangyao. How could such a vicious and narrow-minded person lead a team? Now he could not estimate her ability. Even if she graduated from a prestigious university. When the time comes, she might not even be a tenth of Mu Qiqi's ability. That would be embarrassing. But deep down in Grandpa Sheng's heart, no matter how hateful Xing Minghui was, she was still his granddaughter. But Mu Qiqi was not. So, even if Mu Qiqi was outstanding, she would not get such a good thing. Xing Minghui was beaten up again during dinner. Although she was engaged to Will, she still stayed with the Sheng family. Because she knew that Grandpa Sheng would not consider her after leaving the Sheng family. She would not be as stupid as Xing Minglan. Later, Grandpa Sheng asked Mu Qiqi a few questions about the event. But Mu Qiqi easily brushed them off. She was always wary of the old man. Grandpa Sheng knew that Mu Qiqi was wary of him. So he stopped asking. This little thing was quite vigilant. In any case, Xing Xiao had achieved his goal of going home for dinner. Although he knew very well that Xing Minghui would hate him even more, it did not matter. In the end, it was either her or him who would die. The next day, Grandpa Xing secretly went to the hospital to visit Xing Minglan. He was very uncomfortable when he found her on an 4 drip. Xing Minglan was too soft-hearted. She would not say a thing even if she was bullied. What surprised him even more was that old Seventh could actually be so ruthless to his elder sister, Xing Minghui. Because of this, Xing Minghui had to stay in bed for 2 days. Her temper was bad and she did not eat for 2 days. When the servant came to comfort her, she said, "If I die, all of you will be happy." Grandpa Xing was furious. He went to Xing Minghui's room to visit her. "If you continue to do this, I will consider changing the person in charge of the planning department. My love for you has been destroyed by your evil actions. You can choose if you want to continue. I can pretend that I never had you as my granddaughter. All the love I have for you has been erased by your vicious actions. Do you want to continue or do your part? Make your choice. At worst, I can pretend that I never had a granddaughter like you. Then don't play any tricks. When Muchichi is done with the event, you can go and get the credit. Then everyone will be happy. What's there to be unhappy about? Then don't play so many tricks. Once Muchichi's event is over, you can go and claim the credit. Then everyone will be happy. What else are you dissatisfied with? Then don't play any tricks. When Muchichi is done with the event, you can go and get the credit. Then everyone will be happy. Why are you not satisfied?" Xing Minghui held back her anger. She nodded. "Grandpa, I was wrong. I was wrong. I will listen to you." Grandpa Xing did not know that the servant was standing at the door with the food. Xing Minghui's door was not closed. When the servant heard this, she quietly pulled Mama Xing aside after delivering the meal to Seventh Sister. Then she told Mama Xing everything that they had talked about. Mama Xing was the only one in the family who was respectful and friendly to the servants. So she could get help from the servants. It was the same when she went to Grandpa Xing's room to look for the medicine. Mama Xing's face changed when she heard that. She was prepared for it. She knew that Grandpa Xing wanted to humiliate Muchichi. But she did not expect that Grandpa Xing would steal the fruits of a 19-year-old girl. That she could not accept it. Mama Xing hesitated again and again. She paced back and forth in the house countless times. Because she was weighing in her heart whether she should tell Xing Xiao about this. It was not until night time that she made up her mind. She called Xing Xiao. "Xing Xiao, I know why your grandfather asked Muchichi to plan the VVIP night in Huangyao. I saw the change in the planning department. The leader has left, leaving behind a difficult task. Of course, I have to find someone to take over. Otherwise, when Xing Minghui comes in and the event fails, she, as the person in charge of the planning department, would not be able to convince the others." Xing Xiao smiled. "You know about it? Mom, do you think I'm easy to fool?" Xing Xiao asked. "Do I need to think about it? Does Muchichi know?" "Chier doesn't need to know. I will not let that happen. Moreover, Chier is only doing the event. She is a forensic doctor. I will not force her to do anything she doesn't like." Mama Xing nodded. "Since you're prepared, I'm relieved. That seventh sister is getting worse and worse. Her hatred for you and Xiaoqi should be as deep as the sea. Although I don't want to see you kill each other, I don't want you to give in either. Because she's a piece of trash. Mom, no one can touch Chier or you when I am here. All right then. You should rest early." Mama Xing was relieved now that Xing Xiao knew about it. She would not let her daughter-in-law suffer. Grandpa Xing wanted to enjoy the fruits of her labor? How could there be such a good thing in the world? Of course, Eighth Brother's thoughts were also meticulous enough. He could see through the situation and know what the old man wanted to do. Xing Xiao hung up the phone. He looked down at the little one who was sleeping in his arms. It was good enough for his little one to clean up the mess. Grandpa Xing was still not satisfied. Chapter 304. Out of guilt towards Xing Minglan, Grandpa Xing asked Xing Xiao to inform the people of Huangyao to take care of her new company. So, those who had fooled Xing Minglan before all turned around and apologized. Not only did they come to negotiate the contract, they even invited Xing Minglan to dinner. Actually, Xing Minglan did not ask for that. She would be satisfied as long as Xing Minghui did not cause trouble. Now that the negotiation of the contract was going smoothly, she had the urge to go on a date with Jing Yun. After all, Jing Yun had done his best so that she would not be disturbed by the Xing family. Now that there was no such problem, she naturally had to think about her own personal matters. Late at night they were working overtime. Xing Minglan finally saw Jing Yun putting away his documents. She got up from her desk and walked to him. Let's have supper together. Jing Yun looked up at Xing Minglan. He did not refuse. Sure, but I have to bring you somewhere first. Xing Minglan nodded. She was even a little happy. She thought that Jing Yun might have been enlightened. But when they reached their destination, Xing Minglan was suddenly puzzled. Because it was just an ordinary roadside stall. Miss Minglan, you have never eaten something like this before, have you? As a young lady of the Sheng family, she had always been pampered. That was why Jing Yun brought her here. But I used to beg around here before I went to the Sheng family. Xing Minglan looked a little embarrassed. You are always like this. You pull us apart like heaven and earth. Because it is the truth. Jing Yun turned around and looked at Xing Minglan. Miss Minglan, although you have freedom now, what will the chairman do if he knows that you are with me? My life will only be more miserable. I am just an ordinary person. I don't want to be destroyed. So, I hope you can put your heart on someone else. Xing Minglan felt as if her heart was being cut by a knife. Fine. You have hurt me. Although I've thought about what you've said, if one day grandfather finds out, I'll bear the consequences with you no matter how he treats you. But since you're afraid, I have nothing else to say. Go back. After all, you don't really want to eat supper. Jing Yun's throat was burning, but he did not speak. After Xing Minglan got into the car, she had even less desire to speak. She looked out of the window and after a while she said to Jing Yun, you should go back to Xing Xiao. Not only that, but she also took out the gold card from her purse. I don't need your charity. I feel that since you don't want to face it, then there's really no need for us to meet. It'll just make us sad. Jing Yun was stunned when he saw the golden card. So she knew everything. Just drop me off at the entrance of the apartment. I'll hire an assistant tomorrow so you don't have to report in. Jing Yun took a deep breath. He parked the car in front of Xing Minglan's new apartment. She quickly got out of the car. Jing Yun looked at the gold card. She had finally regained her freedom. He did not want to ruin it for her. When she got home, she gave Xing Xiao a call. I've talked to Jing Yun tonight and told him not to come tomorrow. Don't tell him anything about me from now on. If he can't open his heart, don't force it. Xing Xiao nodded. Xing Xiao frowned when he heard that. What was Jing Yun hiding in his heart? Did he have to torture her like this? All right. Since it's your decision, I'll do as you say. Good night, Xing Xiao. Mu Qiqi heard their conversation and knew that Jing Yun was still unwilling to be with Xing Minglan. She could only sigh. Maybe we're not fated to be together. It can't be helped if he wants to be like this. Xing Xiao hugged Mu Qiqi. The next morning, Jing Yun went to Huang Yao to report in. Xing Xiao did not show any unusual reaction, but he was very disdainful of Jing Yun. What kind of sadomasochistic love are you playing? Young master, what are you afraid of when I'm here? Xing Xiao asked in return. I'm telling you, fourth sister called last night and told you not to pay attention to her in the future. Otherwise it'll be difficult for everyone. By the way, I've returned fourth sister's gold card to you, right? Jing Yun nodded. That's right. The young lady of the Sheng family pursued you and was rejected. You've got guts. Jing Yun tilted his head and said nothing. I'm warning you, fourth sister is trying to tell you that you've missed your only chance to open her heart. No matter who she meets in the future, it has nothing to do with you. If you want to continue being an ascetic, then go ahead. I'd like to see how long you can last. How retarded was this blockhead when it came to love? There was actually someone in this day and age who was willing to endure a silent, unrequited love? Idiot. Go to the planning department and help with the VVIP night. I don't want to see you for the time being. Jing Yun left Xing Zhao's office dejectedly at those words. Soon, Grandpa Sheng learned about Mu Qiqi's plan for the VVIP night. After all, Huang Yao belonged to him. It was easy for him to know about the event beforehand. Of course, Xing Xiao did not intend to hide it from him. Since he knew the old master's purpose, he would openly show the old master how ingenious the plan for this event was. Grandpa Xing read the plan. Of course, he could not find anything to nitpick. He also believed that Mu Qiqi had done it all by herself. Because Xing Zhao's style was completely different. A 19-year-old girl's work was so creative. He didn't know if she was too smart or if she was just lucky. Whatever the case may be, the old man was even more wary of Mu Qiqi. After all, there would be other women by Xing Zhao's side in the future, and it would be even more difficult to deal with her if she was too smart. Moreover, Xing Xiao alone was already a headache. No matter what, this credit must not be given to her in the end. This way the outside world's recognition of her would increase. Although he was not satisfied with Sheng Minghui, she was still a Sheng. He could not let an outsider take advantage of her. After the VVIP night of Huang Yao, he would announce that Xing Minghui would be the head of the planning department. Because she was the biggest contributor to the success of the event. It was just a few days. So, he would let Mu Qiqi be arrogant for a few more days. Chapter 305. Xin Rui? Xin Rui was the manager of this bar. To be frank, she just wanted to learn how to flirt with men. After all, she had yet to get close to the young master of the Sheng family. Minghui? Why are you drinking here? Xin Rui took a glass of wine and sat in front of her. It's all because of Mu Qiqi and Xing Xiao. Let's not talk about it. Then Xing Minghui drank another glass of wine. Didn't you just get engaged? Why are you having a hard time? It's hard with that bitch Mu Qiqi around. Xing Minghui snorted. She did the same thing in the Xin family. So, the three of us were chased out in the end. What do you think? Do you want to form an alliance? Well, I have something to ask of you. I have something that I want to achieve. How do you want to form an alliance? Introduce your eldest brother to me. I will help you to deal with Mu Qiqi. At least, she won't be able to enter the Xing family as long as we are here. Xin Rui went straight to the point. Do you know why I'm suffering here? It's so that I can enter the Xing family one day and fight with Mu Qiqi. Are you kidding me? My eldest brother is married. Isn't there a lot of womanizing going on outside? If so, what's the difference if I join him? Xin Rui gave her phone number when she saw that Xing Minghui did not want to join. Call me when you have made up your mind. Anyway, you still have to suffer some losses before you know how powerful that little bitch is. Xin Rui did not say anything else. After all, she could not simply find a mistress for her eldest brother. What would happen if Grandpa Xing knew about it? Her grandfather already hated her enough now. If she didn't keep her place, she would never be able to step into Huang Yao's door. So, Xing Minghui forgot about Xin Rui after she returned to the Xing family. When Grandpa Xing saw her coming back drunk, he said angrily, "Are you going to take over the planning department of Huang Yao like this? Grandpa, I'm just not feeling well. From tomorrow onwards, stay at home and read the documents. You don't have much time." Everything was ready for the VVIP night. She just had to wait for that night to avenge herself. After the preparations were done, the staff of the planning department strongly requested for Mu Qiqi to go to Huang Yao for one last meeting with everyone. If anything unexpected happened, they would be able to react accordingly. Now, the people in the planning department seemed to have recognized Mu Qiqi's method and her ability. However, Grandpa Xing did not intend to let Mu Qiqi interfere with the VIPs of Huang Yao anymore. Even though he knew that the planning department needed it, he could only ask Mama Sheng to appease them. When Xing Minghui heard about it, she took the initiative to ask Grandpa Sheng. "Grandpa, since the event is almost ready, can you let me take a look at the venue and show my face? Just leave the meeting with the staff to me. Anyway, I will be there on the day of the event. It will be good for everyone to get to know each other." Grandpa Xing thought about it and felt that Xing Minghui was right. So he nodded and agreed. "If that's the case, you can go to the planning department for the last meeting. Have you read the proposal in detail?" "Yes, Grandpa." The planning department received a reply from their superior. They would indeed hold a final meeting before the event. But they did not know that the person who would hold the meeting was Xing Minghui. When Mama Sheng heard about it, she could not help but smirk. She said to the secretary, "For the smooth progress of the event, bring Xiao Qi here before the meeting." "Do you not trust Miss Minghui?" "Why not? But just let her go during the meeting. Just wait and see. She is a half-baked person. She will only be despised by the staff in the planning department. When the time comes, I am afraid that Xiao Qi will be the one holding the fort." "I understand, madam." The secretary nodded. Mama Sheng had watched Xing Minghui grow up in the Sheng family. How could she not know what she was capable of? Did she want to take the credit of others just like that? It would depend on whether she had the ability or not. When Mu Qiqi reached home, she heard about it from Xing Xiao. She frowned. "Are we going to have a head-on conflict with that woman again? If there is a chance to slap her, why not?" Xing Xiao asked her. "Moreover, you are the one who planned the event. Will you feel comfortable if someone criticizes your plan on the eve of the event? In the end, the credit will fall into someone else's hands. Won't you be angry?" "Xiao Xiao, don't tell me that this is Grandpa Sheng's evil plan." Mu Qiqi immediately understood the deeper meaning of Xing Xiao's words. "You mean it, don't you?" Xing Xiao chuckled and pinched Mu Qiqi's nose. "My little one, you are so smart. Then of course I will go. I will not let Grandpa Xing have his way. Then before the meeting, Mom's secretary will come to pick you up." Mu Qiqi nodded. She thought that this old man was really evil. How could he use such a trick to bully a 19-year-old girl? Was he not afraid of being laughed at? On the other hand, Xing Minghui was very excited because she could enter Huangyao soon. As a young lady of Huangyao, she was destined to be a high-ranking official once she entered. In addition, with the credit, the people of Huangyao naturally did not dare to complain too much about her. But in fact, it was not as good as she thought. After all, Huangyao relied on its ability. Although the planning department had not done anything in recent years, it was because they were overcautious and had too many concerns. The meeting was scheduled for the afternoon 2 days later. And Xing Minghui had already asked a luxury store to send her the latest professional suit of the season. When Grandpa Xing saw it, he could not help but snort coldly. Although she was not capable, she had quite the style. But she was the young lady of the Sheng family. So he let her be. 2 days later, in the afternoon, Xing Minghui arrived at Huangyao in a luxury car in a white professional suit. The people in Huangyao had already received the notice that Xing Minghui was coming for a meeting with the planning department. So no one dared to neglect her. At the same time, Grandpa Xing also revealed that Xing Minghui and Mu Qiqi were the ones who planned the VIPs of Huangyao together. Otherwise, Mu Qiqi would not be convincing at her age. The people in Huangyao were in awe of this soon-to-be manager of the planning department. As expected of the young lady of the Sheng family. She is indeed extraordinary. So, Miss Minghui was the one who planned the activity room. Like I said, Mu Qiqi is only 19. How impressive. She did not even ask for credit. Miss Minghui is so low-key. Chapter 306. At this moment, the people in the planning department sat up straight. They were looking forward to seeing Mu Qiqi again. They wanted to know what kind of advice she could give them. But the person who entered the meeting room was the 7th daughter of the Sheng family, Xing Minghui. Everyone put down their pens and looked at each other. What kind of trick was the higher-ups playing this time? Xing Minghui quickly sat down on the main seat. She quickly adjusted her mood and greeted everyone. Hello everyone. I am Xing Minghui. I will be taking over the planning department soon. So, I will be the one holding the meeting today. Where is Miss Mu? She will not come to Huangyao anymore. After all, Grandpa gave her a small task. She has completed it. So she will retire. I know that this is the last meeting of the event. If you have any questions, just ask. The people in the planning department looked at Xing Minghui. But they could not say anything. The event was about to start. How could they send a stranger to them and ask them to listen to her? Miss Minghui, forgive me for being straightforward. Do you know the process of this event? I am the one who made the proposal. What do you think? Or else, do you think a 19-year-old girl like Mu Qiqi could come up with such an interesting thing? Xing Minghui did not blush at all. She took the credit for the proposal. But the people were not convinced. Since you are the one who made the proposal, why didn't you explain it to us? Why did you let Miss Mu attend the meeting? Because I was busy with other things. You are really busy with stealing your sister's fiancé. Some people rolled their eyes. Well, since you said that the proposal was made by you, we all believe you. Next, Miss Seven, please answer our questions. This time, what's the best way to present the jewelry that eldest young Master Lu gave to Madam at the heartwarming show? How should we divide the guests of the 2 main venues? What should we use? Alright. We will use a Lincoln limousine to welcome the guests. What kind of red wine should we use for them? I have another idea. Xing Minghui was stunned after hearing the questions from the staff. Do you need to welcome the guests? They have their own chauffeurs. Since the plan was made by you, Miss Seven, why didn't you know that the 2 home games couldn't be leaked in advance? Therefore, we arranged for them to be picked up personally because we couldn't leave the address of the event on the invitation, and we also had to ensure that the guests would arrive at the venue accurately. Xing Minghui became nervous when she heard that. She had only glanced through the proposal. Who would want to admit that a 19-year-old girl could come up with something earth-shattering? I forgot. It's okay, we can help you remember. Now Miss Seven, please make the arrangements. We're all waiting. Xing Minghui felt guilty. So she took out the event plan and started reading it. But the audience knew very well that she was not the one who made the plan. How could someone who had made the plan forget their own arrangements? Was he trying to steal the credit? Xing Minghui just sat there for a long time without moving. Because she could not answer those questions. She thought that she was here to listen to the report and show off. 7th young lady? 7th miss? You've been flipping through the proposal book for almost half an hour. The staff of the planning department reminded her. If you can't answer those questions, then, let's let Miss Mu do it. Think carefully. I am the one in charge of the planning department in the future. Xing Minghui's point was immediately pointed out. She was the one in charge? Then it was fine if they did not keep the planning department. It would be worse than before. Then please answer our questions. At this moment, the door of the meeting room was pushed open by the secretary. Then Muchichi walked in. Everyone's eyes brightened when they saw her. Miss Mu, you are finally here. Miss Mu, when Xing Minghui saw Muchichi, she stood up immediately. Who let you in? Get out. Mama Xing stood in front of Muchichi when she heard her. I am here. How dare you ask anyone to get out? You admit that you are not capable enough. You even spread the news that you are the one who planned this event? Xing Minghui, you are really shameless. You, Miss Mu, since you are here, please help us to solve these small problems. We are not sure. Muchichi looked at their questions and answered them one by one. This set of jewelry is priceless. Of course we will let the guests see it. Then we will let First Madam wear the jewelry in front of everyone's envious eyes. Then we will let eldest Lu appear. Then age is only one part of the criteria for the 2 home stadiums. The statistics department has an analysis of their consumption. You can determine which home stadium they belong to based on the jewelry they bought, whether they are young or traditional. Then make a list and send someone to pick them up. Don't prepare red wine in the car. Xiao Xiao has a cooperation with a perfume company. Prepare a set of high-class perfume to soothe the nerves and put a copy of the event schedule in the box. This will achieve the effect of advertising and save some money. After all, what they want to know the most is the information about the jewelry. After listening to Muchichi's arrangement, everyone was convinced. The whole department burst into applause. Xing Minghui looked gloomy. Yes. Actually, I want to say that too. Xing Minghui quickly added. But who would believe her? Everyone just rolled their eyes at her in contempt. Xing Minghui, the company is not a place for you to play. You can be arrogant at home and no one can control you. But now you are in the company. If you treat this as a game, then I advise you not to waste everyone's time. Mama Xing walked to Xing Minghui and said, there is a meeting in the planning department. Do you want to stay? Grandpa asked me to attend this meeting. She is just an outsider. Eldest aunt, you have to understand that this is the business of the Sheng family. All right. Then you can help the planning department to solve the following problems. Muchichi threw the problem in front of Xing Minghui. If you can solve it, I will leave immediately. Otherwise, I can go to the Sheng family and look for Grandpa Xing. I will see who he will help this time. It's not a big deal. I won't lose anything anyway. Are you threatening me, Muchichi? If you don't know anything, then please shut up. Why don't you call Grandpa Xing and ask him to attend the meeting? Don't think that I don't dare to. I didn't ask you to come today. You barged in without permission. Muchichi, wait for Grandpa to teach you a lesson. Then Xing Minghui took out her phone and dialed Grandpa Xing's number. Grandpa, you should come to Huangyao quickly. I am being bullied to death. How shameless. Chapter 307. When Grandpa Xing heard Xing Minghui's aggrieved voice, he thought that the people in the planning department were too daring to disrespect the young lady of the Xing family. So he immediately left Xing Mansion, intending to rush to Huangyao as soon as possible. On the other hand, Xing Minghui looked at Mama Xing and Muchichi provocatively after she finished her call. Grandpa is already on his way. He will reach Huangyao soon. I would like to see how you are going to explain this to Grandpa, eldest aunt. Mama Xing and Muchichi looked at each other. Then she looked at the rest of the people in the planning department. She did not say anything but maintained her smile. Indeed, it was time for Grandpa Xing to have a look. He wanted to see how his good granddaughter was in this meeting room. It was true that she was the young lady of the Sheng family. But she really did not have any ability. Miss Mu, will you be all right when the chairman comes later? The staff of the planning department looked at Muchichi worriedly. Of course. Xing Minghui snorted. Really? Let's wait and see then. Muchichi winked at her, telling her not to worry. About 20 minutes later, Grandpa Xing finally arrived at Huangyao. He went straight to the door of the meeting room. When Xing Minghui saw him, she immediately took Grandpa Xing's hand and started to complain first. Grandpa, you are the one who asked me to host this meeting, right? But eldest aunt still brought Muchichi here. She doesn't respect you at all. Mama Xing and the people in the planning department rolled their eyes. Why did the meeting end up like this? Did Xing Minghui really not know? Grandpa Xing looked at Mama Xing with a sharp gaze. I arranged this, Xiaoqin. Okay, Dad? I know you arranged this. But if seventh sister could continue with the meeting, Muchichi would not be here. Mama Xing said straightforwardly. Mom, since Grandpa is here, let's go out. We don't want to disturb seventh sister's meeting. After all, There are still many things in the planning department waiting for Seventh Sister to solve. Muchichi quickly stopped Mama Sheng. There was no need to find trouble with Grandpa Sheng in such an occasion. He could do whatever he wanted. Okay. When Sheng Minghui saw that, she immediately said to Grandpa Sheng, "Grandpa, you're the best. I couldn't chase them away no matter how hard I tried." Everyone sneered, and Mama Sheng left the meeting room with Muchichi. Sheng Minghui was finally satisfied. But it did not mean that Grandpa Sheng did not see the expressions of the staff in the planning department. "Since Muchichi and Xiaoqin are gone, let's continue the meeting. I'll stay here and watch over you," the old man said as he walked to a seat. Seventh brother began to panic. "Grandpa, you're here. I'm nervous." "It's okay. You'll get used to it sooner or later. Let's start." "You guys can start too." With Grandpa Sheng's instructions, the planning department continued with the questions. "Miss Mu, you have solved 3 of them just now. Let's move on to the next one. We talked about the warm theme just now. Now let's talk about the fashion theme. Miss Mu, you mentioned that you want to use this opportunity to promote Huang Yao's new products. But what should we focus on? Because everyone knows that Huang Yao has a lot of new products. It's impossible to bring out all of them. The publicity department doesn't dare to make a rash decision. Miss Chichi, what do you think?" Seventh Sister was stunned. Her body stiffened. She looked at the staff in the planning department and then at Grandpa Sheng. Then she smiled awkwardly. "Well, and although the VVIP night of Huang Yao has a fixed time every year and almost everyone in Jianchuan knows about it, the publicity department still asked if we should come up with a new way to promote it this year." After hearing the second question, Seventh Sister froze on the spot again. She even looked at Grandpa Sheng for help. Grandpa Sheng knew what was going on. He remained silent for a while. Then he said to the staff in the planning department, "Get Muchichi here." "Grandpa." Seventh Sister was shocked. Grandpa Sheng did not say anything. He just sat on the spot with his walking stick. After a while, Muchichi came in. Of course, she knew what was going on in the meeting room. "Muchichi, you will be in charge of this meeting." "Grandpa." Seventh Sister stomped her feet. She wanted to walk out of the meeting room. But Grandpa Sheng scolded her. "Just sit in your seat. You don't need to go anywhere." Sheng Minghui blushed. She could only sit on her seat unwillingly. "Miss Mu, these are the last 2 questions." Muchichi nodded after reading it. "Huang Yao does have a lot of new products, but they are not suitable to be advertised on the VVIP platform because they are already on the market. In other words, anyone with money can buy them. This is not attractive to the rich ladies who contribute a lot of money to Huang Yao every year." Muchichi nodded. "Why is it limited to the whole world?" "That's because they want to be respected. They want to be able to enjoy things that others can't. So, the direction of the promotion is the new products that will be released in the next quarter. It is not yet in the market. This way we can warm up the new products and ensure the sales of the next quarter." The staff in the planning department nodded. "Understood." As for the publicity, Huang Yao has set a fixed time to let everyone know that these few days are Huang Yao's event days. With Huang Yao's current status, it doesn't seem like we should waste this money, but only the top 50 people participate in the VVIP night every year. But are there only 50 rich people in Jianchuan? Moreover, I have seen the name list. These 50 people don't change much. Don't you want new blood to join? As for the new products that I've set up, I'm calling out to those who haven't joined the VVIP night to spend more next year. Only by joining the VVIP night will you be able to enjoy the latest products of the year and become the most honorable symbol of Jianchuan. So, the promotion is not for the general public. It is to remind those who are not in the top 50 that they should work harder. This is also the goal of the VVIP night. So, do you think we should promote it? After Muchichi finished, the staff in the planning department could not help but clap. This little girl was really amazing. She had set the direction for the VVIP night. This way they would not have to worry about it in the future. Grandpa Sheng listened quietly and clapped too. But what about Seventh Sister? She was so guilty that she did not dare to look Grandpa Sheng in the eyes. How could she be so shameless? Chapter 308. You don't think that I don't know that Xing Xiao taught you all these. Otherwise, how could you know so much about dissecting corpses? Miss Minghui, that's impossible. The people in the planning department immediately denied Xing Minghui's words. You should know that we have just sorted out these problems before the meeting. Unless the Crown Prince can predict the future. Enough. At this time, Grandpa Sheng stood up and sneered. Why are you still arguing? You are a finance graduate from a prestigious university. How can you be compared to a girl who plays with a scalpel? I was so confident that you could lead the planning department well. Now that I think about it, maybe I am an old fool. Grandpa. No, I am not like this. If I had not tried, I would not have known that the granddaughter I am so proud of is like this in the company. This old face of mine has been completely thrown away by you today. Grandpa Xing stood up straight and took a deep breath. You still have the cheek to call me and say that you were bullied? If I were you, I would hide under the table. Do you know that? Grandpa. Xing Minghui quickly reached out to hold Grandpa Xing's hand. But Grandpa Xing shook her off. It seems that you are not suitable to enter Huang Yao. Don't interfere with the planning department's affairs in the future. Grandpa, give me another chance. I will perform well. Xing Minghui panicked and quickly held Grandpa Xing's hand. Grandpa Xing did not look at Xing Minghui. Instead, he looked at Mama Xing, who was standing at the door. If she wants to enter Huang Yao, arrange a job for her as a typist. Let her start from scratch. A young lady of the Xing family becoming a typist? Wasn't that even worse than killing Xing Minghui? How could she endure such humiliation? Grandpa, you will regret this. After saying that, Xing Minghui ran out of the meeting room in tears. Grandpa Xing's expression did not change, but he could not do anything about it. Before he left the meeting room, he said to Xing Minghui, "Finish this meeting and this event. Then go back to your school." Grandpa, I let Seventh Sister know so much today and made her feel humiliated. She will definitely take revenge. I don't care, but I can't guarantee whether she will leak the news in advance. The painstaking efforts of the planning department and the publicity department are all in this. Grandpa Xing was aware of that. After all, even if he disliked Mu Qiqi, he would not joke around with Huang Yao. Moreover, the event this time was of utmost importance. If old Seventh really dared to do this, she would definitely cripple this granddaughter of hers. Don't worry, she can't do it. With that, Grandpa Xing left Huang Yao. Today was a lesson for him. His face was swollen after being slapped by Seventh Brother. He thought that even if Seventh Brother was a dabbler, he should know something. However, when he saw Seventh Brother acting like a yes man just now, he knew how stupid his decision was. After Mu Qiqi's adjustments, the status of the planning department would definitely rise and become more and more important in the future. The minds of these employees seemed to have been activated by Mu Qiqi and gained new creativity. Since that was the case, of course, he would not let Seventh Sister be the person in charge. At the same time, he really saw Mu Qiqi's ability and creativity. This was not something that Xing Xiao could teach. The people in the planning department were all excited when they saw that Mu Qiqi was finally recognized. Miss Mu, let's continue. There is not much time left. Mu Qiqi nodded. This time she could sit down and have a peaceful meeting. Xing Minghui drove around angrily. Grandpa Xing sent the chauffeur to follow her. Because from this moment on, all her actions must be strictly monitored. Xing Minghui hated Mu Qiqi. But there was nothing she could do. She was slapped in the face in public. Grandpa Xing was still on Mu Qiqi's side. What could she do? Sooner or later she would cut Mu Qiqi into pieces. Soon, the news of the meeting spread in the company. Before this, Grandpa Xing wanted to ask Xing Minghui to take away Mu Qiqi's credit. But after the meeting, the people in the planning department and the publicity department had become Mu Qiqi's water supply. Whenever someone said that Xing Minghui was the planner of the event, they would be attacked like a hornet's nest. What planner? If she is really the planner, how could she not know anything in the meeting? She is the Sheng family's Miss Minghui. Was she adopted by the Sheng family? Why is she so different from the others in the Sheng family? Look at the crown prince. Look at Madame Sheng and the others. This Miss Minghui is simply a good-for-nothing. Isn't that right? She still wants to take away other people's credit. She needs to show her ability first. Groups after groups of people were laughing at Xing Minghui in the company. At the same time, the people from the other departments were also curious about how exciting the event in Huang Yao was. Why did this group of people agree with Mu Qiqi so much? Wherever Xing Xiao passed by, he could hear praises for his little one. It was imaginable that his little one had gained a lot of attention in the meeting. After this incident, he thought that Grandpa Xing would not hand over the planning department to Xing Minghui for the time being. Xing Minghui did not want to go home. She had nowhere to go. So, she went to the bar where she drank last time. Of course, she also thought of Shen Ruoi. Shen Ruoi had made a bet that she would lose to Mu Qiqi. She did not expect that it would come true so soon. At that time, Shen Ruoi said that if she could help Shen Ruoi get to know her eldest brother, Shen Ruoi would help her to deal with Mu Qiqi. When Sheng Minghui thought of Mu Qiqi's proud face in the meeting today, she could not bear it anymore. She said to the bartender, "Find manager Shen. You are too fast. I thought you would still be able to hold on for a while." Shen Rui walked out of the inner court and sat beside Sheng Minghui. "What is it this time? Are you going to promise me as long as I promise you?" Sheng Minghui asked Shen Rui. This time she had made up her mind to fight Mu Qiqi to the death. "Of course." Shen Rui nodded. "All right, there's something I need you to do for me." Mu Qiqi's guess was right. To deal with her, Sheng Minghui was willing to sacrifice the event and the benefits of Huang Yao. She just wanted to embarrass her. "I can't do that. You have to be my matchmaker first. Anyway, I won't be able to run away when I meet your eldest brother. Why are you so anxious?" Chapter 309. It's a deal. They reached an agreement quickly. But Sheng Minghui did not know that her every move was under Grandpa Sheng's surveillance. The driver sent by Grandpa Sheng returned to Sheng Mansion after he took a photo of them. Then he reported to Grandpa Sheng in the study. "Chairman, this is the photo I took. I found out that Miss Minghui is in contact with this woman." Grandpa Sheng's face changed when he saw the photo. "Humph. What good can they do when they are together? What should we do now?" "Keep a close watch on her. Although I don't like Mu Qiqi, this event will bring Huang Yao many times more profits. So Minghui must not be a hindrance to this event. It's time to arrange a place for her." Grandpa Sheng had been very lenient to Sheng Minghui. But this girl had not changed at all. He had listened to Mu Qiqi's arrangements at the meeting today. He had to admit that her event was the most creative one Huang Yao had in recent years. If it could be carried out smoothly, Huang Yao's revenue for the next year would be immeasurable. If Sheng Minghui was not broad-minded enough, she would definitely go against Mu Qiqi. Then, he had no other choice. In life, one had to give up something. Grandpa Sheng called Xing Xiao after he knew that the two women were in contact with each other. Although they never got along well, Xing Xiao was happy to see Chi'er's enemy. "Sheng Minghui and Shen Rui are in cahoots. I don't know what they are planning. You must keep an eye on them. Don't let them spread the news. Also, send someone to keep an eye on the Liu family. Keep an eye on those two first." Mu Qiqi could not help but sigh when she knew about it. Shen Rui is still dreaming. I wonder what kind of deal they have made. If you want to know, just keep an eye on them. Xing Xiao lowered his head and looked at the little one. He smiled when he saw that she was playing with the simulated heart. "You are getting more and more hardcore these days. Are you afraid?" Mu Qiqi put the heart in front of him and smiled. "Xiao Xiao, I will touch more limbs and maggots in the future. Can't you stand it now? Are you provoking me?" Sheng Xiao put down the model in her hand and slapped her butt. "Are you hinting that I should bathe you a few more times a day?" "I don't want it." Mu Qiqi resisted. "Let me go. I want to continue my research. Just sit on me." Mu Qiqi did not refuse. After all, it was more comfortable than sitting on a chair. Moreover, Sheng Minghui was digging her own grave now. If this continued, Grandpa Sheng would not be able to stand her. Not very soon, but she couldn't take it anymore. After Xing Minglan refused Jing Yun's help, she spent a lot of money to hire an all-round assistant. Although he was not someone she liked, he was still very capable. Although she would sometimes think that it was a pity to miss Jing Yun, what could she do if the door to his heart remained closed like that? The two of them worked very well together, and Xing Minglan gradually trusted this new assistant. Soon the two expanded their business overseas. Xing Minglan also decided that she would attend the conference abroad in person, and this time she and her assistant were the only ones on the trip. If things went well, she was prepared to stay abroad for half a month, so that she could change her mood. Moreover, she did not tell anyone that she was leaving Jianchuan. To avoid contact with Jing Yun, she did not even have time to call Xing Xiao now. Mu Qiqi had thought that she could visit fourth sister when she had the time, but she only found out that she had left the country when she reached her office. And she was going with the new assistant. Moreover, the new assistant seemed to have good qualifications. More importantly, he was also single. What if they got to know each other for a long time and fell in love with each other? Jing Yun was really making people anxious. After returning home, Mu Qiqi sat on the sofa and sighed. Jing Yun's blockhead was really infuriating. Sheng Xiao found Mu Qiqi dejected when he got home, and guessed that she was worried about someone else's matter again. Xiao Xiao say, "Why does Jing Yun have to live so restrained and tired?" A handsome assistant has appeared by Sister Four's side. If he still doesn't make a move, Sister Four will belong to someone else. Can't help it. It's a dead end. I really want to piss him off, or I would be angry for nothing. Isn't that simple? The next day, Xing Xiao deliberately mentioned Xing Minglan's new assistant in front of Jing Yun. It's lucky that you're not staying by fourth sister's side anymore, or she wouldn't be able to get to know that golden assistant. Let's see when they get married. Jing Yun said nothing, but his heart felt like it was being cut by a knife. His body and mind had never been so exhausted after so many years. During this period of time, he had been working overtime to forget the pain. But when young master mentioned it so casually, his wound was torn open again. Xing Xiao could tell from his back that the fellow was very upset. Even so, he was the one who asked for it. Still, it was rare that Jing Yun fell sick the next day, and took a day off to rest at home. Why was he so insistent if he couldn't stand the agitation? Mu Qiqi suddenly sympathized with Jing Yun when she learned about it. You actually made him sick. Who can he blame for working day and night? Xing Xiao couldn't help snorting coldly. Should we tell fourth sister? Consider it as giving them one last chance? I'm too lazy to help. If we don't help them, no one will. Mu Qiqi hugged Xing Xiao's arm and said, I'll send a message to fourth sister. Xing Xiao was too lazy to care about her. Mu Qiqi took out her phone and sent a message to Xing Minglan. She told her that Xing Xiao had told Jing Yun that there was a possibility for her and the new assistant to continue their relationship. She was so angry that she fell sick. Xing Minglan had just finished her meeting. When she saw the message, she couldn't sit still anymore. She asked her assistant to buy a ticket back home. But it's nighttime now, don't we have a night ticket? Xing Minglan was really anxious. Maybe she was afraid that Jing Yun would misunderstand her, or maybe she was worried about Jing Yun's health. No matter what, she was eager to go home. Although the assistant did not understand, he still did as he was told. Judging from Xing Minglan's reaction, she must be doing it for her lover. On the other hand, Xing Minghui didn't know that she was under Grandpa Sheng's surveillance. She went to the bar at night and met Xin Rui. Chapter 310. That's the best. Xin Rui nodded. You can tell me what you need me to do after I meet your eldest brother. It's a deal. Xing Minghui wondered how her eldest sister-in-law would feel if she knew what Xing Minghui had done. Perhaps he even had the intention to kill her. That night, it was already 11 o'clock when Xing Minglan returned to Jianshuan. But she did not have time to change her clothes. She asked Xing Xiao for Jing Yun's address and drove there. Jing Yun was too tired and his stomach was not feeling well. Although he had taken the medicine, he still had a fever. Xing Xiao's words were the main reason why he was in such a bad mood. How could a person be invincible? Soon, Xing Minglan arrived at Jing Yun's house. Although she was still hesitant, she still pressed the doorbell bravely. Jing Yun endured the pain and got off the bed. When he opened the door and saw Xing Minglan, he was shocked. Before he could show any expression on his sick face, Xing Minglan already knew that he was very sick. Miss Minglan? Xing Minglan heard his hoarse voice. She reached out and touched his forehead. When she found that it was burning, she pushed him into the room. Why don't you go to the hospital? How long have you been burning? I'm fine. Jing Yun defended himself. If you keep burning, you will become stupid. How can you be fine? Where's the thermometer? Jing Yun lay back on the bed and pointed at the thing on the bedside. Xing Minglan took it and ordered him. Open your mouth. Jing Yun did not move. I asked you to open your mouth. Jing Yun was helpless. He opened his mouth obediently. 2 minutes later, Xing Minglan saw the thermometer explode. You don't think of yourself as a human. Let me find the medicine for you first. Then I will lower your temperature. Seeing Xing Minglan getting up, Jing Yun reached out and grabbed her. Why don't you run away after I let you go? Xing Minglan got rid of Jing Yun's grip and answered him. Just take it that I'm a slut tonight. How could you be a slut to me? He didn't know if it was because of his illness, but he lost some of his water chestnuts and became much cuter. Don't say anything else. If you keep this up, it will be really serious. Having said that, Xing Minglan found the first aid kit and gave Jing Yun a strong antipyretic. But his stomach wasn't feeling well now. If the medicine was too strong, his stomach would definitely feel uncomfortable. So, for a moment he was in so much pain that he curled up into a ball. Xing Minglan sighed and helped him up. Then she gave him a massage. Why torture yourself like this? I have a new assistant. Yes, I have a new assistant. I need someone to help me, explained Xing Minglan. Will you like him? Don't you know who I like? If I didn't like this person, I would have rushed back from abroad. I haven't showered for 2 days. I just finished a meeting in the afternoon and I heard that Xiao Qi said that you were sick. I couldn't sit still. But I'm glad that I'm back. Otherwise, are you planning to die alone in the house tonight? Xiao Qi's face turned red. That's right. Fourth miss, don't call me fourth miss. Xing Minglan was a little angry. Although I'm the young lady of the Sheng family, he ignored me when I took the initiative to pursue him. Jing Yun couldn't stand the pain anymore. He grabbed Xing Minglan's hand. Can you be quiet for a minute? Xing Minglan immediately stopped talking. But after a while she couldn't bear it anymore. Let's go to the hospital. We don't have much money. Or should I ask the doctor to come? Jing Yun didn't say anything. He fainted from the pain. Because of the pain he became weaker. His immune system became weaker and his fever wouldn't go down. Xing Minglan was helpless. She could only call the doctor and ask him to come quickly. The night passed just like that. And Jing Yun's fever only went down in the morning. Xing Minglan was really tired. She leaned on the sofa and fell asleep. When Jing Yun woke up and saw his beloved in front of him, he suddenly felt that it was a strange dream. Soon Xing Minglan woke up too. Seeing Jing Yun's eyes wide open, she was no longer angry. Are you hungry? Jing Yun shook his head. Does your stomach still hurt? Jing Yun shook his head too. I'll make you some porridge. Having said that, Xing Minglan got up. But Jing Yun suddenly grabbed her and pulled her into his arms. You're so cunning. Why did you attack me when my will was at its weakest? Xing Minglan hugged Jing Yun back. Who asked you to be so weak? I don't want to see you with your new assistant. Do you think I would be with him just because he's an assistant? Xing Minglan didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Our relationship has been built for more than 10 years. Ordinary people can't compare. Jing Yun was finally relieved after hearing Xing Minglan's words. Can you let me go now? Jing Yun slowly let go. But it was obvious that there was less wariness in his eyes. There was more affection. Xing Minglan got up and went to the kitchen to make porridge for Jing Yun. This man was really too passionate. If he didn't want her to be with other men, he could have just said it. But he kept everything in his heart and made a mess of himself. He asked for it. But no matter what, Xing Minglan knew that Jing Yun had opened up a little to her and was not completely resistant. Although he would still be on his guard when he encountered sensitive issues in the future, she believed that she would have more courage after today's response and move on. Come to think of it, that sly Xiao Qi was really popular. That morning, Jing Yun fell asleep again after having his porridge. It was only then that Xing Minglan found a chance to call Mu Qiqi. That piece of wood's fever has subsided. Fourth sister, is there anything different about that piece of wood that's sick? Xiao Qi. Mu Qiqi held back her laughter. If that's the case, I won't go see Jing Yun in the morning. You guys continue. Xing Minglan blushed all the way to her neck. Mu Qiqi could imagine how enchanting it must have been when they were together last night. Finally, her efforts were not in vain. Fourth sister had come to his house in the middle of the night. If Jing Yun could still hold himself back, he would really be inhuman. While Jing Yun was asleep, Xing Minglan wandered around his house. He did not take anything away from the Sheng family except for the gifts. They would be there wherever he was. Moreover, the gold card she returned to Jing Yun had been dismembered by Jing Yun. To him, if the money could not help Xing Minglan, it would be useless to him. How could there be such a stupid person in this world? Xing Minglan took out some transparent glue and stuck the gold card back on. Chapter 311. When he woke up, he put on his handmade suit and planned to report to Huang Yao. Xing Minglan was a little angry when she saw him coming out of the bedroom. Your fever hasn't subsided yet. I'm already feeling much better. Besides, I only took a day off yesterday. You've been working day and night all these years. How much leave does eighth brother owe you? Xing Minglan was a little unhappy. Rest for one more day before you go back. What about you? Isn't the company busy? There's a new assistant. Didn't Jing Yun dislike her new assistant? That was why Xing Minglan sounded a little awkward when she mentioned the new assistant. As expected, Jing Yun was stunned for a moment, but he still did not plan to rest. I'll accompany you to the company. You work, I'll rest. But how can I rest well in a place like the company? To me, not working is resting. Let's go, I'll send you back to change your clothes. Xing Minglan felt that something was not right, but she did not reject him. Yesterday she had rushed to Jing Yun's house anxiously. They had just negotiated a deal and they had yet to finalize it. When we get to the company, you don't have to worry about anything. Just rest. Can you do that? Jing Yun nodded. Xing Minglan only left with Jing Yun after she was satisfied. She did not let Jing Yun drive. It was still dangerous for someone who had taken the medicine. They arrived at the company in the afternoon. When the employees saw Jing Yun following Xing Minglan, They wondered if Jing Yun was coming back to help their CEO. But when Jing Yun entered her office, he sat down at her rest area and leaned against the wall lazily. Xing Minglan glanced at him and asked someone to buy a blanket for him. Then she gently covered him with it. When the new assistant saw that Xing Minglan had returned to the company, he took the contract and knocked on her office door. When he entered and saw that there was someone in the lounge, he was stunned. "Chief Xing, this is the contract. Leave it. Is there anything else? I also need you to look through my schedule for the next few days. Alright, leave it here too. I'll take a look later." Xing Minglan's attitude towards work was obvious. Naturally, she had no personal feelings towards her new assistant. After hearing that, Jing Yun was relieved and fell asleep on the sofa. Wasn't a man such a creature? He was trying his best to identify the things that were dangerous and threatening to him. For the rest of the day, Jing Yun rested while Xing Minglan busied herself. When it was time to knock off, the two left the new company. On the surface, they appeared no different from usual. But the problem was that Jing Yun did not do anything when he came to the company today. He simply slept in Xing Minglan's office. "Do you think Chief Xing and Special Assistant Jing are a couple? They've been together for more than 10 years. It's normal for them to be a little intimate. Don't you think that Special Assistant Jing came to the company today to announce his status?" When they were in the parking lot, Xing Minglan heard the employees talking about their relationship. She blushed at once. When Jing Yun said that he was going to the company to rest, she thought that he was going to accompany her. However, after being reminded, she felt that Jing Yun really did have a purpose for coming here. Could it be because of the new assistant? Was he jealous? "The car is here. Let's go." Jing Yun did not smile the whole time. Even though he was being talked about, he did not seem to care. Still, Xing Minglan had questions in her mind. Jing Yun was the driver on the way back. Xing Minglan sat beside him. Jing Yun gave people the feeling that he was always restrained and steady. So, she felt a different sense of security when she was with him. It was different from when she was with Sheng Xiao. It made her feel very secure. Even so, she still had to ask what she had to ask. "Jing Yun, what is our relationship now?" Jing Yun turned to look at Xing Minglan and said, "Young master always says that Miss Chi-Chi dragged him into hell. But he was never at the entrance to hell. I am the one who is sure that it is me. I just hope that you won't regret being with me. Even if the chairman wants to deal with me one day, I will try my best to protect you. If Chi-Chi can stand by Sheng Zhao's side, why can't I?" Xing Minglan said firmly. "As long as you don't run away." With those words, Xing Minglan hugged Jing Yun's right arm. Of course, it was under the condition that she did not interfere with his driving. That night, it was a good show that Xing Minghui had arranged. She arranged for Shin Ruoyi to join her eldest brother's dinner. Well, as her eldest brother, it was a common thing for him to flirt with women. Of course, after all these years, big sister-in-law's heart had already been broken. Now the two of them were practically having their own fun. But big sister-in-law had a principle. Her fun was not the same as a man's fooling around. She simply loved to travel, but she would never go out to find a man and embarrass Elder Mo. After all, even if they were to get a divorce, she would still be able to stand firm. But she had never expected that Sheng Minghui would introduce a mistress to her husband. Because eldest brother Sheng was mixed blood. So, his appearance was very attractive to women. It was also his natural capital. And when eldest brother Sheng wanted to cooperate with him, he must find a beautiful woman as his companion. So, Sheng Minghui arranged for Shin Ruoyi to be with a group of beautiful women. When eldest brother Sheng saw Shin Ruoyi, he was shocked. After all, she was the daughter of the Shin family. Why would she come to a hotel to accompany a guest? "Ruoyi," Shin Ruoyi walked to eldest brother Sheng and said, "You're here to have fun today. So, don't ask me why I'm in this situation. Brother Sheng, please buy me. Otherwise, someone else will buy me." According to seniority, eldest brother Sheng was Shin Ruoyi's uncle. But the age difference between them was not convincing. Eldest young master Sheng thought for a while. Shin Ruoyi's body was very beautiful under her revealing clothes. He could not just watch Shin Ruoyi being molested. So he nodded. "All right. You can sit next to me." Shin Ruoyi had learned a lot of new things in the bar recently. She especially learned how to make a man happy. Eldest brother Sheng did not have those thoughts. He just met someone he knew. However, Shin Ruoyi's faint touch and her fragrance were stimulating eldest brother Sheng. Soon Grandpa Sheng knew about it. When he saw the photo, he was furious. How shameless. How slutty. How could she do such a thing to her own brother? "Chairman, what are you going to do now?" Chapter 312. But nothing happened that night. Eldest brother Xing respected Grandpa Xin, so he would not do anything to Xin Ruoyi. He only promised that he could arrange for Xin Ruoyi to stay in the apartment under his name. To put it bluntly, this was similar to keeping. Soon, eldest brother Xing returned home. Old Xing glanced at him but did not show any sign of abnormality. He simply wanted to see if eldest brother was so lustful that he would touch the granddaughter of a family friend. Of course, Grandpa Xin would also send someone to inform the Xin family. Although Xin Ruoyi was chased out of the Xin family, she was still a descendant of the Xin family. If this matter was spread out, the Xin family would be in trouble. As for Xing Minghui, he decided to find a time to gather the whole family. Most importantly, he still did not know what the deal between Xing Minghui and Xin Ruoyi was. Xing Minghui was completely unaware that she was now under Grandpa Sheng's control. She felt that she had fulfilled Xin Ruoyi's wish. So she wanted Xin Ruoyi to reward her. Help me leak the news about Huang Yao. Tell them that there will be 2 main venues for the VVIP event, and that the 2 wives of the Liu family will be separated. Knowing how much eldest madam hates youngest madam, she will not just sit back and watch. She will definitely think of a way to embarrass youngest Madame Liu. Let's see how Mu Qiqi will be able to act so arrogantly in front of me then. After Xin Ruoyi heard that, she felt that Xing Minghui had gone all out. Even an outsider like her knew how important Huang Yao's VVIP night was. You're too ruthless. If I don't do that, how can I make Mu Qiqi pay the price? We can't publicize this matter. We only need to let Dr. Liu know about it. Xing Minghui told Xin Ruoyi over the phone. I fulfilled your wish. Now let's see your performance. But, would Xin Ruoyi really have the chance to get close to the Liu family? Apart from the old man's men, Xing Xiao and eldest Liu were also on guard. She wanted to see eldest madam? He would probably have to wait until his next life. However, she still agreed verbally very quickly. Minghui, let's help each other from now on. I'll definitely help you handle this matter beautifully. Unfortunately, the 2 of them colluded with each other and tried their best to come up with a solution. However, in the eyes of smart people, they were just lab rats that could be pinched to death at any time. 2 days later, when Mu Qiqi saw Jing Yun again, he was the one who came to deliver the documents to Xiao Xiao. From his face, one could still see that he was pale, but he was in good spirits and seemed to be a lot more relaxed. Look at you, didn't you ask for it? If you had confessed your feelings earlier, you wouldn't have gotten sick from Xiao Xiao's anger. Miss Qiqi, Miss Minglan is the jewel of the Sheng family. I don't know if she would be able to endure the life if the chairman were to attack her in the future. I don't want her to suffer because of me. Mu Qiqi pouted impatiently and shook her head. What do you think Grandpa Sheng can do to you with Xiao Xiao around? I don't want to add to young master's burden. Why did you follow Xiao Xiao for so long? Isn't it because he has the ability to protect whoever he wants? Jing Yun stopped talking. At the end of the day, it was because he cared too much. So, are you 2 not fighting with each other anymore? Is 4th sister your girlfriend now? Mu Qiqi asked the person in question. But Xing Xiao grabbed her by the collar and dragged her back. Little one, you women should ask other women about this kind of thing. Oh. Mu Qiqi behaved herself. Jing Yun blushed a little. He passed the documents to Xing Xiao and said softly, we have confirmed our relationship. Mu Qiqi was so excited when she heard that. Well done. We will form an alliance against Grandpa Sheng in the future. 4th sister must be very happy. Jing Yun did not change much. But Mu Qiqi knew that the blockhead was secretly happy. Young master, the chairman intercepted these things this morning. Jing Yun was afraid that it would be awkward. So he quickly changed the topic. Xing Xiao opened the documents and smirked. Xing Minglan is courting death. Moreover, this matter is related to the Xin family. Take a look. Xing Xiao passed the documents to Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi took the documents and was shocked. Is Xin Ruoyi crazy? What does she want to do? Miss Qiqi, you don't know this. The young master of the Sheng family has many women. Xin Ruoyi is doing this because she wants to use him to attack the Sheng family. Or she is doing this for you. 7th sister is really reckless. I have never seen a sister like her. She introduced her eldest brother directly. Mu Qiqi could not finish her words, because it was difficult to say it. If this matter is exposed, the reputation of the Sheng and Xin families will be ruined. I have to go back and meet father and grandpa. As for 7th sister, Xing Xiao turned around and looked at Mu Qiqi. He said, I am afraid that Grandpa Sheng is going to put righteousness before family. He will not pay too much attention to the conflicts between brothers and sisters as long as it is not too ugly. But 7th sister is harming the interests of Huang Yao. That is Grandpa Sheng's bottom line. What will Grandpa do? Let's wait and see. Shenrui tried to contact the people of the Liu family, but she failed. Grandpa Sheng's connections were certainly not a joke. But the two of them were still feeling proud of themselves. Jingyun, go to the Liu family. Pretend to be a member of the Liu family and reply to Shenrui. Tell her that First Madam has already known about the VVIP night of Huang Yao. Let's see what they are going to do next. I will arrange it. Jingyun nodded. If the two of them were to do anything, they would be destroyed by Grandpa Sheng. Shenrui received the reply from the Liu family very soon. Eldest Liu had already known about Huang Yao's evil plan. They had deliberately set up 2 stages to separate her and that little SL*T. She would not let it go so easily. She would definitely cause trouble for Huang Yao. Shenrui showed the result to 7th sister. She pretended to take credit. Do you know how much effort I have put in and how many tricks I have used to contact this First Madam? In order to thank me, can you also tell me the whereabouts of your big brother? I will tell you later when I find out. 7th sister was very satisfied with the result. She was waiting for eldest Liu to show up so that she could slap Muqiqi in the face. What was so great about the most creative event? Chapter 313. Because it was related to the Shin family's reputation, Muqiqi went back to Shin Mansion in the afternoon the next day. Not only that, she was surprised to find that Shin Jianchuan had returned home. Grandpa Shin had hired a professional physiotherapist to help Shin Jianchuan, so he did not need to go to the hospital anymore. When Grandpa Shin was fishing in the pond, Shin Jianchuan could accompany him and talk to him. It was as if they wanted to make up for the regret they had. They always had a lot to talk about. Grandpa Dad. Grandpa Shin turned around and saw Muqiqi. He smiled. My precious granddaughter is back. Actually, Muqiqi did not want to talk about third uncle's family in front of Grandpa Shin anymore. If it was not because Shenrui had become eldest brother Sheng's mistress, she would not have been able to talk about it. Do you have something to tell Grandpa? Shin Jianchuan could see through his daughter's mind. Although I don't want to make Grandpa angry, I think I should tell you about it. Muqiqi took out the picture of Shenrui dressed in a trench coat and together with eldest brother Sheng. I don't know what she is planning. But I don't want anyone to know about it. Grandpa will be criticized. Grandpa Shin put down his fishing rod and took the picture. He looked angry. Animal. She is an animal. Grandpa, if you agree, let me handle it. But no matter what I do to Sister Roy, you can't say anything. You can't be soft-hearted or feel sorry for her. Grandpa Shin took a deep breath. He could not do anything to Shenrui, so he nodded. I have nothing to say to her now. Just do as you see fit. Xiaoqi, you have grown up. You don't have to tell me about this. I will stand by your side no matter what. I know, Grandpa. Let's not talk about this. I will accompany you to go fishing. I will stay at home for dinner. You! Among all the children in the Shin family, Grandpa Shin only trusted Muqiqi. Although she was only 19 years old, she was more far-sighted than most of the adults. She was brave enough to break the rules. Grandpa Shin was still a little uncomfortable with Muqiqi and Sheng Zhao's seniority. That night, Muqiqi had a very happy time at the Shin residence. But when she returned to Jingting, she found that Xing Xiao was deliberately ignoring her. Muqiqi climbed onto his lap and wrapped her arms around his neck. What's wrong? Sulking? The Shin family treats you very well now. Does it make you feel more at home? What are you talking about? Aren't you being petty? I just stayed in the Shin family for a while. It's not worth it for you to make a fuss about it. You used to be very clingy to me. I'm very attached to you now too, Muqiqi said and pressed her head against his chest. Look, I'm stuck to you. I promised your father that I would let you live happily in the Sheng family, but I'm living a happy life. Mom and 4th sister treat me very well. As for the others, they all treat you that way. I'm just an outsider. I don't expect anything from them. I'm already very satisfied with my current life. Muqiqi said as she rubbed up and down on his chest. He was a man after all. No matter how arrogant he was, he would still have his period for a few days. Muqiqi could understand it. After a while, Muqiqi opened one of her eyes and looked at Xing Xiao. She asked gently, Are you not angry anymore? What's the use of rubbing my chest? Muqiqi's face turned red when she followed Xing Xiao's gaze. Pervert. And Xiao, I've thought of a way to deal with Shenrui. It can solve the problem once and for all. Xing Xiao put down the documents and held Muqiqi's waist. Then he walked to the bedroom. What are you doing? You can say what you want. I'll do what I want. Grandpa Sheng's men found out that one of the properties under eldest brother Sheng's name was empty. It was specially used to settle Shin Ruoi down. If eldest brother Sheng was not selfish at all, he should have told the Shin family after settling Shin Ruoi down. But he did not. What did it mean? Grandpa Sheng knew very well that his son had an ulterior motive. Although he had an ulterior motive, he did not meet her immediately. So, Shin Ruoi had to get eldest brother Sheng's schedule from Sheng Minghui. Eldest brother Sheng was not a fool. He would only approach the forbidden fruit after he was sure that the surroundings were peaceful. Mu Qiqi had thought of a way to deal with Shin Ruoi. So she told Xing Xiao about it. Xing Xiao patted Mu Qiqi's head after he heard about it. It's easy. Grandpa Sheng will not reject it for the sake of his relationship with the Shin family. Moreover, it was related to the reputation of the Sheng family. Mu Qiqi's idea was to let Grandpa Sheng catch them in the act when they met. Then she would get the evidence and hand it over to her grandfather. Then Grandpa Sheng would arrange for Shin Ruoi to join the army. She wanted her to join the army before she passed the age limit. If she refused, the media would expose those photos to the public. It was the last bit of mercy she could give to Shin Ruoi. It was also the only chance for Shin Ruoi to turn over a new leaf. After all, it was the Shin family. Grandpa Sheng certainly did not want to deal with this hot potato. So he agreed to Xing Zhao's suggestion. Then he asked his secretary to find out eldest brother Sheng's whereabouts. There were still 2 days left before the VVIP night of Huang Yao. Eldest brother Sheng felt lonely after he finished his work. Then he thought of Shin Ruoi who was staying in the villa. So, eldest brother Sheng drove to the villa at night. At the same time, Grandpa Sheng called Xing Minghui over. I saw your eldest brother going out just now. Your sister-in-law is not at home. Let's follow him and see where he went. Xing Minghui was stunned when she heard that. She said quickly, Grandpa, I don't think it's a good idea. There's nothing bad about it. I will ask your aunt and the butler to come along. They are all elders. You're a junior. It's just right. Grandpa, there's nothing else to say. Let's go now. Xing Minghui was very nervous. Her palms were sweating. She wanted to send a message to Shin Ruoi. But Grandpa Sheng had seen through her intention. He said to her, Give me your phone. I know your eldest brother treats you very well. It's inevitable that you will want to send him a message. Xing Minghui was reluctant. But she still took out her phone and passed it to Grandpa Sheng. Let's go now. Xing Minghui followed behind Grandpa Sheng. But at the same time she felt a chill down her spine. Grandpa Sheng saw eldest brother Sheng leaving with his own eyes. How would he know where eldest brother Sheng went? Wouldn't it be too late to follow him now? And the reason why Grandpa Sheng could do that was because he knew where eldest brother Sheng was going. Chapter 3:14. Moreover, Grandpa Sheng had invited her. That meant that Grandpa Sheng might not only know about Shin Ruoi. He might even know that she was in cahoots with Shin Ruoi. Xing Minghui started to sweat when she thought about it. Minghui, are you not feeling well? Mama Sheng asked even though she already knew the answer. It was because she knew that Xing Minghui was feeling guilty. There was no other reason. No. Xing Minghui smiled embarrassedly. I'm just feeling a little hot. Just bear with it. We'll be there soon. Grandpa Sheng looked at her coldly. Obviously, Grandpa Sheng had leaked the news on purpose. He wanted to see Xing Minghui's reaction. He wanted her to be afraid. At the same time, Xing Xiao received a message from Mama Sheng in Jingting. She was on the way to catch the adulterer with Grandpa Sheng. I want to join in the fun too. But if I show up, I will definitely provoke Shin Ruoi. Don't worry. I will take a clear picture. You will feel like you are there. Go to hell. Xing Zhao's words made Mu Qiqi laugh. Not long after, they arrived at the villa. At that moment, the lights in the villa were actually from the living room. They hadn't reached the bedroom yet. The butler will knock on the door later. Because Grandpa Sheng would never let Xing Minghui get close to the villa and inform the people in the house. Yes, Grandpa. In the room, Shin Ruoi was making supper for eldest brother Sheng. She had waited so long for this man to show up. Of course, she had to seize the opportunity. Ever since she moved into the villa, she had been wearing revealing clothes. It was because she did not know when eldest brother Sheng would attack her. For example, tonight. Eldest brother Sheng looked at Shin Ruoi from behind. He was excited. Eldest brother, it's almost ready. It's okay. Take your time. I'm not in a hurry. Eldest brother Sheng said thoughtfully. Soon, Shin Ruoi walked to eldest brother Sheng with a bowl and a pair of chopsticks. She touched the man's body. If it weren't for you, I would have become a prostitute. You are Uncle Shin's granddaughter, this is what I should do. Eldest brother? Shin Rui held eldest brother Shing's hand. I don't know how to repay you. Why don't you marry me? Then I'll feel more at ease. I'm willing to be your lover. I don't want you to divorce me or marry me. This, if it wasn't, would you despise me? How could eldest brother Shing hold back when a beauty was in his arms and she was the one who threw herself at him? So he pulled her onto his thighs. The two of them had been harboring thoughts in their hearts to begin with. Once the fire was ignited, it naturally couldn't be stopped. The lights in the living room quickly turned on to the bedroom. At this time, Grandpa Shing also signaled to the butler, "Go." Shing Minghui's heart was pounding when she saw the butler getting out of the car. The butler kept ringing the doorbell downstairs, which made the people who were in the middle of passion very impatient. So when eldest brother Shing opened the door in his pajamas, he was very angry. "Who is it?" The butler immediately stepped aside. Eldest brother Shing's expression changed when he saw Grandpa Shing behind the old butler. "Grandpa, why are you here?" Minghui, walk in front. Grandpa Shing didn't care. He asked Shing Minghui to clear the way. After all, it was a woman inside. As an elder, it was not appropriate for him to do so. "Grandpa, I'm the only one inside. There's no one else." "Butler, stop him. Xiaoqin, go upstairs and look for her." Grandpa Shing entered the living room of the villa and ordered. Mama Shing nodded and went upstairs. At this moment, Shing Minghui's heart was already in her throat. Then a scream came from upstairs. It was because Shin Rui was naked in the bedroom. She could imagine how intense the two of them were just now. And when she heard the scream, Shing Minghui knew that Shin Rui was doomed. Soon, Mama Shing went downstairs and brought Shin Rui, who had already put on her clothes. Then she walked to Grandpa Shing. Eldest brother Shing quickly explained when he saw that. "Father, it's not what you think. Are you trying to tell me that a man and a woman are alone in a room and you are just talking about poems?" Grandpa Shing sounded very angry. "Bastard, are you still a human? You are not looking for anyone. You are not stealing from anyone. Why are you looking for the Shin family? Is this something you can do?" "Father, I think you have to cure this problem of yours. Xiaoqin has the evidence about what happened tonight. She will share it with the Shin family later. If I find out that you are fooling around outside, you will lose your identity as the eldest young master of the Sheng family." Grandpa Shing threatened. Eldest brother Shing knew that Grandpa Shing was very angry, so he could only give in. After all, he had caught Shin Rui in bed. What about Shin Rui? She lowered her head and knelt on the floor. She did not have the face to look at Grandpa Shing. "Rui, you are a lady from a respectable family. Why did you do such an outrageous thing?" She was caught in bed. It would have been better if she was caught by eldest brother Shing's wife. But it was Grandpa Shing. He was an elder. What else did she have at this moment other than shame and anger? Just like how she was wearing clothes now. But it was no different from not wearing anything. Shin Rui looked up and saw Xing Minghui. Her eyes were filled with hatred. "Xing Minghui, why did you tell me? Did you want to kick me away after using me?" Xing Minghui's face turned green when she heard that. "It has nothing to do with me. You are a member of the Shen family. It is not easy for me to deal with you. So, I will pass these photos to your grandfather." Shinroi, among the noble families, even the little girl from the Lu family is better than you. Because you treat yourself as a prostitute. I did not expect that you would have designs on eldest brother. You are even willing to be eldest brother's lover. You will be the sinner of the Sheng family for doing such a shameful thing. As long as you are in the territory of the Sheng family, you will not be spared. But you have to go through Grandpa Shin first. After all, no matter how bad you are, you still have the blood of the Shin family. She was caught red-handed by Grandpa Shing. Shinroi knew that she might not have a chance to make a comeback in this life. She thought that she could still stir up some trouble. But now, it seemed that she was just a piece of meat on someone else's chopping board. Xiaoqin, send Shinroi back to the Shin family with the butler later. Grandpa Shing, can you let me go? Shinroi knew that she was going back to the Shin family. So she quickly looked up and begged. Chapter 315. Sheng Minghui was stunned when she heard that. She knelt down on the ground immediately. Grandpa Shing glanced at her and said, "It's not too late to kneel down when we get home. Eldest brother, change your clothes now and go back to the Sheng family. We will settle the score tonight." Sheng Minghui felt as if she had been struck by lightning when she heard that. Because she had a feeling that Grandpa Shing would not let her go so easily this time. Soon, Grandpa Sheng brought eldest brother and Sheng Minghui back to the Sheng family. The rest of the Sheng family also received the news that Grandpa Sheng wanted all the Shengs in Jianchuan to be present tonight. So, it was not hard to imagine how serious this matter was. Sheng Minghui knelt in the living room of the Sheng family like a sinner. The rest of the Sheng family, including Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi, came to the Sheng family. Sheng Minghui's father was present. But he could not do anything to his daughter. So he just let her be. After all, he still had a son. So, he did not find it strange that Sheng Minghui was kneeling in front of him. He could only look at her coldly. Sheng Minghui kept crying. But even the gods could not save her this time. About an hour later, the living room of the Sheng family became quiet. Because everyone was looking at Sheng Minghui. Eldest brother, come out first. Eldest brother sighed helplessly. He walked to Sheng Minghui and faced Grandpa Sheng. Grandpa, this person? This is the one. He is so daring. He could have any mistresses. Do you know who he is fooling around with? With Shen Ruoi. Xing Xiao is unmarried. I don't mind. But how long have you been married? Being lecherous is not the limit. After all, this bastard has done many affairs over the years. But, can you use your brain? You are being tricked by your own sister and you don't even know it. Why do you think Shen Ruoi came to you? Because she knows that you are lecherous. She knows that you are easy to fool. What happened today is a reminder to you, eldest brother. If you do anything wrong to your wife, don't ever appear in front of me again. I can't afford to lose my face. It was the first time that his private life was mentioned in front of so many people in the Sheng family. But it also meant that Grandpa Sheng could not stand it anymore. Therefore, the eldest could only admit that he was unlucky. I understand, Grandpa. Get lost if you got it. Let's settle the score with this idiot today. Grandpa Sheng turned to Sheng Minghui. Then he walked up to seventh sister, pinched her chin and asked her, "What were you thinking? Why would you introduce a lover to your brother? Is your brain damaged? Or are you blind? Are you sick?" Grandpa Sheng asked as he patted Sheng Minghui's face. Introducing mistresses to my brother? How did you do that? In Sheng Minghui's eyes, there was only fear and horror. You still want to contact the Lu family? You even leaked Huang Yao's secrets? If it was in the past, I would have strangled you to death. You're lucky to be born in a society ruled by law. Sheng Minghui, how many chances have I given you? Ever since you brought a woman home for eighth brother, I've noticed that your way of thinking is very strange. Can you tell me what's wrong with you? Sheng Minghui couldn't stop sobbing. She cried so hard that she couldn't control herself. Meanwhile, the Sheng family simply watched and could only watch. What's wrong with me? I even wanted to hand over the planning department to you. But what did you do? Are you worthy of all the years of training I've given you? Sheng Minghui sobbed. She could only hug Grandpa Sheng's leg tightly. Grandpa, I'm wrong. I'm really wrong. It's because Mu Qiqi always went against me. That's why I was bewitched. That's why I did such a stupid thing. It's not that Mu Qiqi went against you. It's just that you can't bear to see someone better than you. Grandpa Sheng corrected her. Sheng Xiao looked at Sheng Minghui coldly. Then he held her hand. It was rare for the old man to speak a word of justice. Grandpa, it's not like that. I really didn't do it. I did it for the Sheng family. You leaked the information about Huang Yao for the Sheng family? Sheng Minghui could not argue back. So she hugged Grandpa Sheng's leg tightly. Grandpa, however, Grandpa Sheng shook her off completely. What right do I have to be your grandfather? Did I teach you to betray your brother and your family? Everyone is here today, including Sheng Minghui's father. The Sheng family cannot tolerate this person anymore. I don't want to see her ever again. So, I've asked all of you to come here today. I want all of you to know that this person is officially removed from the Sheng family. In the future, if I find out that any of you are related to this person, don't blame me for being merciless. Sheng Minghui was stunned when she heard what Grandpa Sheng said. She couldn't say a word because she knew that it was useless to beg for mercy. So, she turned around and looked at Mu Qiqi with extreme hatred in her eyes. Mu Qiqi, you set me up, didn't you? You told Grandpa about it, didn't you? Butler, pack her things now. Send her out of the Sheng family tonight. Other than her clothes, don't let her take anything from the Sheng family. Not even a piece of cloth. Yes, master. The butler left immediately. He did not give Sheng Minghui any chance. Then the butler went to Sheng Minghui's room. Seeing that there was nothing she could do, Sheng Minghui sat on the floor helplessly. She looked around at everyone in the Sheng family, including her father. Father, please save me. Her father just sat where he was and waved his hand. How could he not be upset? But was there any use in being upset? When Sheng Minghui saw that she could not plead with the person closest to her, she finally turned her gaze to her enemy Mu Qiqi. Mu Qiqi, please save me. I was wrong. I shouldn't have gone against you. Mu Qiqi looked at Sheng Minghui kowtowing and begging. She felt emotional. That was the path of humans. When you lost your conscience and made a deal with the devil, you should have thought of this day. You've just left the Sheng family. You still have your hands to support yourself. Your sorrow now is because you are about to lose your glamorous appearance and luxurious life. Why do you want me to save you? You're still alive. Soon, the Sheng family who had been watching the show left the hall. Then, the butler took Sheng Minghui's luggage and came to her side. Miss Sheng, please. Eldest brother Sheng was scared when he saw Sheng Minghui's tragic ending. This was the limit of Grandpa's patience. Of course, Mu Qiqi did not think that she had won, because one day she might get the same treatment as Sheng Minghui. When Grandpa Sheng found a suitable wife for Xiao Xiao. But she would not end up like Sheng Minghui. Chapter 316. Mama Sheng sent Shen Rui back to the Shen family. Although Grandpa Shen was mentally prepared, he was still disappointed and sad when he saw Shen Rui being sent back to the Shen family. Xiao Qin, I'm sorry for causing trouble to the Sheng family. Grandpa Shen Rui is indeed at fault. But seventh sister is responsible for it. So don't blame yourself too much. Mama Sheng comforted Grandpa Shen. I've sent the photo to Huang Yu. I've also sent her back. I'm going back to the Sheng family now. Huang Yu, send Xiao Qin off. Grandpa Shen waved his hand and asked Huang Yu to send her off. Then Grandpa Shen sat in the living room of the Shen family's courtyard. He looked at Shen Rui who was lying on the ground. He patted his knee and spoke after a while. I've been innocent all my life. I didn't expect to meet a bastard like you when I'm so old. Shen Rui was lying on the ground. She looked really pathetic. Grandpa, ask yourself, have you never sided with Mu Qiqi since she came to the Shen family? Shen Rui was still trying to defend herself. I can only do whatever I can when I meet a bastard like Mu Qiqi. Even now, you're still trying to push your mistake onto Qiqi? The old man's hands, which were on his knees, couldn't help but tremble. I don't want to talk to you about any big principles now. It's impossible to talk to animals. What do you want now? Do I still have a choice? Shen Rui sneered. Don't you have the scented pills given by the Sheng family? Since you know your place, it's easy. Get ready to join the army. Shen Rui's face turned pale when she heard the word join the army. She was such a delicate young lady. She would never see the light of day in the army. Moreover, she would be stuck in the army for 2 years. When she came out, Jianchuan would be a whole new world. Grandpa, do you really want to torture me to death? I do want you dead, but I don't want you to humiliate the Shen family and dirty the Shen family. If you don't go, Huang Yu's evidence will be sent to the media. Since you are already so shameless, then let's be shameless too. Did Shen Rui have any other choice? Moreover, Grandpa Sheng had already said that he would come after her if he saw her anywhere within the Sheng family's sphere of influence. In that case, going to the army was the best place for her at the moment. Grandpa, you really care about me. You've done enough evil. Wake up. From now on, train well in the army. When you come out, you'll be reborn. Moreover, according to Grandpa Shen's arrangement, Shen Lin and Shen Rui were not going to join the army in the same place. The place where he wanted Shen Rui to go was very harsh. He wanted Shen Rui to suffer a lot. Shen Lin, keep an eye on that crazy woman when you arrive at the army. Huang Yu instructed her son. However, Grandpa Shen rejected Huang Yu's suggestion. Shen Lin is going there to fight. There is no need for him to care about an outsider. Moreover, they are not in the same battle zone. Huang Yu was stunned for a moment. She realized that Grandpa Sheng was actually very black-bellied. But, Dad, can this change Shen Rui completely? Does it matter whether I change it or not? Since she has entered the army, she won't be able to come out easily in the future. All in all, one young lady from the Sheng and Shen families was sent out of the house in different ways that night. They could not touch or hit the evil people. What else could they do? They could only throw them out and let them die by themselves. In this way, the two elders could be considered to have one less thing to worry about. The one who came up with the idea was Mu Qiqi. So, Grandpa Sheng suppressed his hatred for her for the time being. He gave her a special privilege. She could dress up and attend the VVIP night in Huangyao. Actually, Mu Qiqi wanted to see the result of her plan. She wanted to know if young Master Lu could get his wife back. So, when Mama Sheng told her the news, she was very happy. At the very least, old Sheng was not being too cruel when he exploited her. In the evening of the next day, Grandpa Shin ordered Shin Lin to send Shin Rui to the designated recruitment point to attend the selection of female soldiers. Shin Rui wanted to run away when she saw Shin Lin was the one who sent her. After all, she thought that Shin Lin could not control her and was not as smart as her. But Shin Lin was not the same Shin Lin who was hurt by Yu Jing. After he received the task from Grandpa Shin, he packed up his things that night. Before they left, he warned Shin Rui. I won't stop you if you want to run away. But I will send those photos to the media. You are not a man at all. How dare you threaten a woman? You are a woman. But you are a promiscuous woman? Shin Lin looked at Shin Rui coldly. Don't talk nonsense with me. If you want to run away, just run away. If not, just listen to me. What else could Shin Rui do? After all, Grandpa Shin had something on her. She had no other choice but to listen to him. Shin Lin seemed to be helping Mu Chichi. So he spent a lot of effort to take care of Shin Rui on the way. Soon the car reached a higher altitude. It was far away from the hustle and bustle of the city. This time, Shin Rui finally knew that Grandpa Shin was going to send her to the ends of the earth. If it was in the ancient times, it would be considered as an exile. Now that Shin Rui was not in Jianchuan and she would not see Xing Minghui again, Mu Chichi felt much more relaxed. The next morning Mu Chichi woke up. She wanted to look for jewelry that she could wear tonight. But she found the birthday gift that Lu Qianqian gave her last time in the drawer. She opened it and saw all kinds of sexy condoms. She did not know where did Lu Qianqian get them from. Mu Chichi blushed. She quickly kept the box. But Xing Xiao saw it when he walked out of the bathroom. Xing Xiao held her hand and couldn't help smiling. Let's try it tonight? I didn't know that Qianqian would give me these. Xing Xiao pulled Mu Chichi to the bed and put her between his legs. He looked at her and said, That's because Lu Qianqian knows what you need. I don't need it. I think you need it. Yes, it's what I need. Xing Xiao held Mu Chichi's head and kissed her forehead. I will come back to pick you up in the evening. Let's go to the heartwarming place tonight. Okay. Mu Chichi nodded. Chapter 317. There were only 2 young ladies in the Sheng family. Now that Xing Minghui was completely chased out of the family, Grandpa Xing naturally thought of bringing Xing Minglan home. An Will, who had just been engaged to Xing Minghui, knew that his fiancée had become a pauper with nothing. Even if he was infatuated with her body, he would never marry her for real, although he could play around with her. That was why he went to Xing Mansion the next day and asked to cancel the engagement. Naturally, Grandpa Xing would not force it since she was no longer with the Sheng family, and so agreed to Will's request. However, Will shamelessly asked the old man if he could re-engage with Xing Minglan. He had dumped her on the night before the engagement, and now he was eyeing Xing Minglan? Get lost. That was all the old man said to Will. Foreigners would always be foreigners. They had no sense of ethics. Grandpa Xing would never betray Xing Minglan again. Even so, he did want his granddaughter to return to him. Even so, would Xing Minglan be willing to come back now that she had her own company? Of course not. Moreover, Xing Minglan was with Jing Yun now. Even if they could only see each other once a day, she would be content and filled with happiness. That was how they agreed that Jing Yun would pick Xing Minglan up from the company after work at Huangyao. They would have dinner together and Jing Yun would send Xing Minglan home to rest. Sometimes Jing Yun would appear in the morning such as now. Even if it was so simple, Xing Minglan treasured the time she could spend with Jing Yun. She would tell him about the company's situation, and take the chance to take advantage of him. Jing Yun obviously knew what she was trying to do, but he was very cooperative and never showed any signs of impatience. Sometimes, Xing Minglan would take the initiative to ask for a hug even on the streets. Perhaps she had been deprived of love for too long, or perhaps it was because Jing Yun's body smelled too good. Xing Minglan came up with countless such excuses for herself. Now that Seventh Sister is out of the family and there's no young lady in the Xing family, I have a feeling that Grandpa wants me back. But I don't want to go back at all. You could come out and work if you go back. That's different. If I wanted to see you, I wouldn't be so unscrupulous. Xing Minglan sounded a little sad. Jing Yun tightened his arms around Xing Minglan. Why do I feel so insecure? Burying her head in his arms, Xing Minglan no longer had the domineering air of a fourth miss of the Sheng family or a domineering female CEO, and was now a helpless little bird. After all, everything else is secondary to me now. I just want to be with you. Holding the umbrella, Jing Yun passed the breakfast to Xing Minglan and sent her into the office. Since it was still early, there was almost no one in the office. Xing Minglan mustered up her courage and pulled his handsome face back the moment he turned around. Then she kissed him. Jing Yun was stunned, but Xing Minglan closed her eyes. Jing Yun did not retreat. Instead, he kissed Xing Minglan's thin lips. He wanted to tell Xing Minglan that it was not that he did not have such a desire, but that he had been suppressing his feelings. Xing Minglan instantly sensed Jing Yun's fervent passion and responded accordingly. By the time they let go of each other, Xing Minglan's lipstick had been completely eaten by Jing Yun. Let's go in. Someone will see us if we don't go in. Xing Minglan nodded, and watched as Jing Yun left reluctantly. She knew that such a life would not last long, but she would try her best to maintain and cherish it. Tonight was Huang Yao's VVIP night. 2 days before the entrance of the publicity department, they had come up with a special promotional strategy, because they knew the direction of Huang Yao's VVIP night. By 6 in the evening, the luxury cars sent by Huang Yao had arrived at the homes of the ladies, because Huang Yao would be escorting the VIPs directly to their destinations. Until now, none of the Huang Yao guests knew that Huang Yao would have 2 main venues this time, and that Mrs. Liu and Mrs. Liu would be at different venues. Sheng Xiao arrived at Jingting at 6:30 in the evening, and found that Mu Qiqi had already changed into a golden spaghetti strap dress. She looked young and confident, and even had the air of a fairy. Seeing Mu Qiqi like that, Sheng Xiao could not wait to press her down on the bed and make love to her madly. Of course, in order to witness tonight's event together, he had to endure it for a while. They quickly set off, and arrived at the romantic Sven Hotel half an hour later. This was the main venue of Huang Yao, and the other venue was located 40 kilometers away. One was in the north and the other was in the south. It was to prevent Mrs. Liu and Mrs. Liu from meeting each other. When the waiter saw them, he immediately led them into the venue. It was Mu Qiqi's first time seeing the layout of the venue. It seemed that the planning department had put in a lot of effort. Because it was a romantic theme, roses and scented candles were the main decorations in the room. Coupled with the dark lighting, the atmosphere was simply wonderful. Is Mrs. Liu here? Mu Qiqi could not help asking the person in charge of the planning department. She just arrived. She is upstairs looking for Mrs. Liu everywhere. Miss Mu, I don't think things will go smoothly tonight. It's okay. Let me know immediately if there's an emergency. That night, most of the guests were discussing the event of Huang Yao. It was a refreshing experience from the moment they arranged the pickup and drop-off. Of course, they were also looking forward to seeing if there would be a fight between Mrs. Liu and Mrs. Liu like before. However, the event started at 7 in the evening, but the guests found that there were only half of the people in the venue today. Where was the other half? And Mrs. Liu, of course, did not find Mrs. Liu, her enemy. Soon it was 7 in the evening. All the screens in the venue immediately showed the scene of the other venue. The guests were shocked when they saw it. Where are they? Are they in Sven Hotel too? Are they upstairs or downstairs? This is so interesting. Huang Yao's event this time is very exciting. I like it. However, unlike the other guests, Mrs. Liu always came at this time of the year to cause trouble for her sister-in-law. Otherwise, there would be no point for her to attend the event. Chapter 318. Madam, I'm really sorry. The other venue is in the north of the city. It's about 2 hours from here, the attendant replied. Because of the traffic congestion in the city, 40 kilometers suddenly became extremely far. I see. First Madam smiled. Huang Yao is playing tricks this year, isn't it? You separated me from that bitch. Find the person in charge or else. I'll make a scene. The venue. How could the waiter bear the responsibility? He quickly went to Sheng Xiao and Mu Qiqi. They looked at each other and quickly left the guests. They walked up to eldest Madame Liu. However, just as Mu Qiqi was about to speak, Mrs. Liu was about to slap her. But Sheng Xiao grabbed her wrist and said coldly, "Do you know who you just touched?" He, Crown Prince. Eldest Mrs. Liu withdrew her hand and sneered. Your fiancé is so smart. She even thought of separating me from that bitch. But do you think I won't cause her trouble after separating us? You guys are too simple-minded. The other side should also be able to see these screens, right? In fact, Sheng Xiao had predicted that this would happen. So, the fashion arena was half an hour late. In other words, they were still using the screen to do something else. Mu Qiqi was naturally angry since she was almost slapped. It was especially so when she saw that eldest Madame Liu was still clinging to her hatred after so many years and did not care about her husband. Mu Qiqi felt that eldest Madame Liu deserved it. However, even though he thought so, he still had to do what he had to do. First Madam, can you listen to me before you lose your temper? What? You still want to salvage your failed plan? Lady Lu coldly snorted. She was indeed very beautiful, especially when she was wearing a silver-white dress. Her figure was very graceful. One could imagine how much effort she had put in to win against young Madame Lu. I just feel sorry for eldest young Master Lu. Mu Qiqi mentioned eldest Madame's husband. You only think about revenge, but you don't know that eldest young master used his own reputation to help you take revenge. He courageously married his brother's ex-wife and was stabbed in the back by millions of knives. But what about you? Have you ever thought about him? As far as I know, younger Madame Lu is already having her third child this year. However, you haven't given birth to any children for eldest young master. You have the title of eldest young master's wife and enjoy the treatment of a wife, but you haven't fulfilled the duties of a wife. Who do you think you are taking revenge on? Is that young Mrs. Lu? She's a mother of 3 now. Who did you hurt? Eldest Madame Lu froze at Mu Qiqi's words. After all, she had assumed that Mu Qiqi would talk nonsense to persuade her like any other person. She did not expect that Mu Qiqi would be so blunt. That's none of your business. It has nothing to do with me. I just feel that it's a pity. Do you know how much effort the eldest young master spent to give you such a precious gift? You can't even see the eldest young master in your eyes. You only know how to take revenge. But since you've taken revenge, why can your enemy still have 3 children and live happily? You only remember that you were betrayed. But have you ever thought about who held your hand when you fell into the abyss and gave you the position you have today? If it wasn't for the eldest young master, do you think you would still have the chance to stand here? Mu Qiqi criticized the woman in front of her angrily. The best revenge is to live a happier and more carefree life than that woman. You don't have to exhaust yourself and drag others down. How old is the eldest young master? How many years can he wait for you? Have you thought about it? Eldest Madame was silent. None of the people around her, not even her husband, had ever said such things to her. I've never seen a woman more selfish than you. You have such a good husband, but you don't want him. You hurt him so badly. If you really don't like the eldest young master and want revenge, you should just give up your position as his wife. Why would you let your benefactor get hurt? Eldest Madame burst into tears at that. After all, Mu Qiqi was accusing her of being a bad woman from head to toe. I hate being betrayed too. I've been hurt countless times, but it's to teach me how to distinguish between good and bad. It's so that I can cherish those who never leave me even when I'm in trouble. If you still want to take revenge, I won't stop you. Tonight, the reason why this place is so warm is because I want to give you and your wife a chance to open your hearts. If you still want to hold on to the past, then you can leave this place. I'll send someone to send you to another place. However, you have to know what you're going to lose tonight. I definitely can't have a husband anymore. No matter how much love I have, it will all disappear. Eldest Madame Lu suddenly panicked at Mu Qiqi's last few words. In fact, she was afraid that her husband could not let her go after so many years. But after Mu Qiqi said so much, she realized that she had been blinded by the situation. She had put all the hurt on her husband. Are you still leaving? Eldest Madame's feet were as heavy as lead. How could she still walk? Then I'll be honest with you. You can't see our conversation just now on the other side. I'll also tell you in advance that young Master Lu is here tonight. Having such a good husband is the biggest blow to that woman, isn't it? The corner of eldest Madame Lu's mouth trembled slightly. Tears were welling up in her eyes. If you still want it, you should let go now. Take revenge on those who hurt you in a brilliant way. Don't be the stupidest person. You'll hurt yourself while hurting your enemy. Can I? Mu Qiqi asked eldest Madame Lu with utmost sincerity in the last 3 words. Eldest Madame Lu thought for a moment. Then, as if she had made up her mind, she said, I'll listen to your arrangement. Everyone present could not help but applaud eldest Madame Lu's courage. Mu Qiqi felt relieved. Then she smiled. If that's the case, there are many surprises waiting for you tonight. Enjoy it. Let the other side be envious of you. All the guests present gave Mu Qiqi a thumbs up. She was the first person who dared to talk to eldest Madame Lu like that. Of course, it was a blow to the head. Then Xing Xiao held Mu Qiqi's waist and reminded her to look outside. Eldest Madame Lu was already at the entrance of the venue with a bouquet of roses. Everyone cheered as well. That was when the other side finally saw the scene. Chapter 319. If eldest sister Lu was a sentimental person who was obsessed with revenge, then the younger Mrs. Lu would be a shrewd person. She did not have a powerful background, but she knew that marrying into a rich family was the only way for her to have a few more sons. This kind of thing, couldn't it be learned from the newspapers? Moreover, after years of evolution, the younger Mrs. Lu had learned how to behave like a rich lady. She knew how to increase her value and how to make a man fall for her. All these years she had been relying on the eldest Mrs. Lu to target her. Tonight was the VVIP night of Huang Yao. Rumor had it that this event was planned by the 18-year-old bride of the Sheng family. When she appeared in the main venue of the fashion show, she had a hunch that this 18-year-old girl would not be easy to deal with, because she had participated in so many events of Huang Yao. But this was the only time she felt that the VVIP night of Huang Yao had been reborn. The main venue of the fashion show was full of singing and dancing. But it did not have the tacky atmosphere of a nightclub. It was very fashionable and special. Most importantly, there would be countless Easter eggs tonight. Huang Yao would show the latest season's new products to the VIPs. This was a privilege that only the VIPs could have. Looking at her side, the younger Mrs. Lu could not help but feel disappointed when her rival was not there. But soon the live broadcast from the main venue of the fashion show changed. At this time, the people in the main venue of the fashion show finally understood that Huang Yao had arranged two main venues. Of course, they thought that the main venue of the fashion show would be upstairs or downstairs. But the waiter told them that the main venue of the fashion show was on the other side of the city. This kind of exciting arrangement was novel even for the people from the warm home, not to mention the trendy wives who were always studying fashion. So they were very satisfied with the arrangement of Huang Yao. They were very surprised. At this time, the screen in the main venue of the fashion show was showing the eldest Lu's son entering the main venue of the fashion show with roses in his hand. He walked straight to the eldest Mrs. Lu and knelt down in front of her. "Zixin, I don't know if you are ready to be my real wife. But I still want to take this opportunity to give it a try." Seeing this, younger Mrs. Lu took a sip of whiskey and sneered. This woman only has revenge in her heart. How can she have time for love? It was also because the First Lady was focused on revenge that the little madam was quite proud of herself. As young Master Lu entered, the beautiful sound of the violin began to play. Mrs. Lu looked at her husband and thought of what Mu Chichi had said to her just now. Of course she was touched and guilty. So she covered her mouth and cried out loud. At the same time she reached out and pulled her husband up. "Do you still want me?" Seeing the two of them hugging each other tightly, the crowd burst into applause. "Of course I'm willing. I've been waiting for you to come back." Eldest Mrs. Lu nodded and hugged her husband tightly. At this time, the treasures of the heartwarming home ground were also sent over. The waiter carefully pushed the set of precious jewelry in front of the crowd and introduced it to them. This set of jewelry is called Match Made in Heaven. It was a famous piece of Huang Yao's early years. But because Huang Yao was in a crisis, unfortunately, this set of jewelry was auctioned by the CEO at that time. It has been circulating abroad for many years. Fortunately, young Master Lu has found it. He wants to give this set of jewelry to his beloved wife, Miss Zhang Zixin. He hopes that she can understand that she is the happiest woman in the world. Everyone was amazed when the set of jewelry was presented. It was a priceless treasure for both Huang Yao and the guests. But now it was given to eldest Mrs. Lu. It was priceless. The guests were all amazed by the brilliance of the set of jewelry. Mrs. Lu could not hold back her tears no matter how hard she tried. She said, "For so many years, I have been obsessed with the past and failed to be a good wife. I really feel guilty. In the future I will take good care of you, take good care of this family, and give birth to the cutest baby for you." Eldest Lu put the set of jewelry on eldest Mrs. Lu and said, "You don't have to compare yourself with anyone. Because I am the one who can give you happiness more than my brother. You are the biggest blow to them since the day you married me." Then the two of them hugged each other tightly. At that moment, music suitable for dancing started playing. Eldest Mrs. Lu looked at the two of them on the screen. She was the one who felt uncomfortable now. Because at this moment, the sense of accomplishment she felt when she took everything away from eldest Mrs. Lu was gone. More importantly, that bitch actually had such a priceless set of jewelry. On the other hand, although her husband did not go out to fool around, their love for each other was getting worse day by day. Not to mention jewelry, she rarely saw gifts now. Moreover, he was always working overtime in the company. And this was the result of her hard work. If she did not work hard, her husband would have found a new lover. Mu Chichi was very pleased to see this. She leaned on Xing Zhao's chest and smiled. "Xiao Xiao, don't you think this is good? I really don't understand why eldest Mrs. Lu is so obsessed with revenge." Xing Zhao's eyes were charming. Under the romantic and warm light, He hugged the little one in his arms. The event of Huang Yao this time would be reported in the news. Sure enough, the little one's ability was endless. She was also a little one who made him proud. Now, as long as we are sure that there is no problem at the main venue of the fashion show, we should be safe tonight, right? I will remember you in my heart. What's the use of that? Mu Qiqi could not help but snort. Grandpa Xing wanted Xing Minghui to take all the credit. Be good. I will reward you well tonight. That bastard. He was obviously asking for benefits for himself. However, when the two of them were getting intimate, eldest Lu came to them and thanked them. Miss Mu, I really have to thank you for helping me get my wife back. When you came to me at first, I thought you were just fooling around. I'm sorry for my attitude back then. If you really want to thank me, you should take revenge for your wife. She has had enough of it for so many years. Don't worry. No, I don't want to take revenge. That bitch is the mother of 3 children now. I don't want to be a sinner. Mrs. Lu came to them and held her husband's hand. She said to them, those who owe you emotionally will betray you and they will also betray her. Let's see what happens to her. Chapter 320. Because there was something that he had considered for a long time but did not tell his wife. It was that his brother had another female star outside. Because he pitted his 3 nephews and nieces. He did not want his wife, which made him even more ridiculous. Now that his wife had let it go, then, it would not hurt to say it out. The popular female singer, Mengru, is his new sweetheart. Mu Qiqi and Madame Lu were stunned after hearing what eldest Lu said. Is that true? Zixin, I hid it from you, I know. Mrs. Lu quickly interrupted her husband. Because you don't want to push me into the abyss of hatred. If it was not for the event in Huang Yao and Sister Qiqi's reminder, I would definitely take revenge on that bitch if I knew about it. If that happened, their 3 children would hate me very much. I just did not expect that bitch to snatch a piece of trash after all these years. This way my heart will feel more comfortable. In the future, I will be able to live more wholeheartedly. Because Mrs. Lu was a smart woman. She would soon find out what her husband was doing. That was the consequence of being a mistress. There were only 0 or countless times of cheating. I think this is worth a drink. Crown Prince, do you want to drink? Mr. Lu asked Xing Xiao. To thank you I have brought Lafite. Xing Xiao did not move at first. Then he hugged his little one and said, it would be impolite to refuse. Seeing that, Mrs. Lu held Mu Qiqi's hand warmly. Let's keep in touch in the future. I'm really grateful to you. I hope to be friends with you. Okay. Let's have dinner together when we have time. Mu Qiqi nodded. At the same time, the younger Mrs. Lu was irritated by what had happened to Mrs. Lu. She called her husband. Do you know what your brother bought for that bitch? Priceless jewelry. But what about you? Darling, I have handed over all my financial power. Are you still not satisfied? Go and buy whatever you like. After that, the man hung up the phone. Younger Mrs. Lu could only stand in the corridor angrily. At this time, a long-haired woman in a white dress walked to younger Mrs. Lu and said, last week, someone saw your husband shopping with a female star. They were hugging each other intimately. Nonsense. Do I need to lie to you? They're just pitiful people in this circle. Then the woman took out her phone and showed her a photo. I was wondering why Meng Ru suddenly became popular recently. Turns out it's all because of your husband. Younger Mrs. Lu was stunned when she saw the picture. I'm at home giving birth to this bastard and he's actually out fooling around? Forgive me for being blunt, but aren't you the one who hooked up with him? The woman laughed. It's not that I'm being nosy, but Meng Ru is an artist in my brother's company. She's always restless. I'm afraid that she's plotting something against my brother, so I sent someone to follow her. I didn't expect that. It's a gift for you tonight. Younger Mrs. Lu clenched her fists after hearing that. She could not control herself at all. So she did not finish the event in Huang Yao. Instead, she called her husband again. Where are you? I'm working overtime in the company. Then she went to her husband's company but there was no one there. Then she went online to check Meng Ru's whereabouts. She knew that she was attending an event and was resting in one of the hotels. So she drove there and took out a small package. She asked the receptionist, this is Mr. Lu Changfeng's thing. He asked me to bring it to him but I don't have his room number. Can you pass it to him for me? Yes, Mom. Then younger Mrs. Lu hid in a corner. The receptionist called the room number. About 5 minutes later she saw her husband coming downstairs. Then she paid the waiter to follow her husband upstairs to see which room he was staying in. Soon, the waiter told her that he was staying in the room next to Meng Ru's. After knowing the news, younger Mrs. Lu's body trembled. She could finally understand how eldest Mrs. Lu felt. She wanted to go up and tear that mistress into pieces. No, to prevent herself from ending up like eldest Mrs. Lu, younger Mrs. Lu immediately called her people. She wanted to catch the bastard in the act and get the evidence. Then she would have the right to speak in court. Stealing was stealing after all. She did not expect her retribution to come so soon. No, she didn't even know that what she had stolen was a bomb that had been planted a long time ago. That night, Huang Yao's event was very successful. Both the main venues were highly praised by the guests. The next day, some pictures of Huang Yao's event were also on the hot search list. Of course, it was a hot topic. Following this topic, there was another piece of gossip on the list. The popular female singer, Meng Ru, was caught in the act last night. She was the lover of the second son of the Lu family. Seeing this, eldest Mrs. Lu could understand why that bitch was not there last night. It turned out that she had gone to catch the adulterer. She always knew that bitch was smart. But no matter how smart she was, she would still be betrayed by that man. Still, she did not expect that younger Mrs. Lu would find out so quickly. Huang Yao's event had a beautiful turnaround. And Mu Qiqi, the main planner, was also being talked about. Wasn't she the young bride of the Sheng family? She was already engaged to the crown prince at the age of 18. And with the success of the event, it turned out that she was not only young, but also very creative. Everyone began to agree with Sheng Zhao's judgment. She was not just full of collagen. She was also very capable. On the other hand, the matter of the Lu family was also on the entertainment gossip list. Eldest Mrs. Lu announced that she had given up on revenge last night. And younger Mrs. Lu went to catch her husband in the act. It must be said that it was very ironic. Mu Qiqi liked watching dramas, especially such a good one. It was said that there was a cycle of karma. But she did not expect that the consequences would be so violent. The next day, Huang Yao announced another celebration banquet. And Grandpa Sheng called Xing Xiao and asked him to bring Mu Qiqi home. Even if Grandpa Sheng did not acknowledge Mu Qiqi, he had to give Mu Qiqi a reward. Who asked her to organize Huang Yao's event so beautifully. Chapter 321. And yet, there had been no news of seventh sister for days after she was chased out of the Sheng family, and the Sheng family certainly did not dare to contact her. Even so, sixth brother was furious when he returned from a business trip. After all, seventh sister was his own sister. And she was chased out of the house by the old man just like that? That was why he went to Grandpa Sheng the moment he got home. Grandpa, no matter how wrong seventh sister is, she is still the blood of the Sheng family and the roots of the Sheng family. It's unacceptable that you would chase your own granddaughter away for an outsider. Don't you know what your sister has done? Old Master Sheng retorted. Even so, you have punished her. Can't I, her brother, help her? She is the young lady of the Sheng family. How could she live if she is kicked out like this? Sixth brother, watch your tone. Who doesn't know that you love eighth brother the most in this family? Now, even if eighth brother wants the moon in the sky, you will help him get it. Moreover, you are just chasing your own granddaughter out? Sixth brother snorted coldly. All right, you family have dinner tonight. I will go out to look for my sister. Old Sheng could not help taking a deep breath. But there was nothing he could do about sixth brother. After all, seventh sister was his own sister. And when sixth brother left the Sheng residence, he ran into Xing Xiao and Mu Qiqi entering the house. His rage flared when he saw them. You've chased your own sister out for a woman like that. You're really something, eighth brother. Xing Xiao knew that dinner was not going to be a good one at that, and smiled in return. What do you look like? Is this the first time you've seen me? Femme fatale. Do you really think that grandfather would tolerate her? He would still have to wait for 2 years and break up when you get tired of her. Xing Xiao, do you think it's worth it to hurt your own sister for a little girlfriend you would break up with sooner or later? Xing Xiao shielded Mu Qiqi and rolled his eyes. Who said we would break up? It's only a matter of time. With that, sixth brother walked past them and left the Sheng residence. That was when the old man came out, his face equally gloomy. Eighth brother, you two come in. Xing Xiao put his arm around Mu Qiqi and the two of them followed Grandpa Sheng into his study. In order not to anger sixth brother, Mu Qiqi should not return to the Sheng family for now. That way we can avoid conflicts. In fact, Grandpa Sheng was regretting chasing Sheng Minghui away. After all, she was his granddaughter. No matter how angry he was, it would be over soon. So, in retrospect, Grandpa Sheng was now blaming Muchichi for everything. Did you ask us to come back just to say that? The look in Xing Zhao's eyes was clearly unpleasant. It was a sign that he was about to get angry. Also, you did a good job with the Huangyao event. It was just a casual compliment, and it didn't come from his heart. The old man just brushed it off. He didn't even think about how he had made things difficult for others before. Now you're starting to regret it. Old Seven was driven away, right? That's why you can't be bothered to see Cheer. Moreover, you're even more upset after sixth brother made a fuss, right? Eighth brother, don't be like your sixth brother. Go against me at this time. The dinner tonight is cancelled. You two should go back. Grandpa Sheng said to them impatiently. What did he mean by being fickle? That was it. Muchichi didn't want Xing Xiao to argue with Grandpa Sheng. So she pulled him and said, Xiao Xiao, let's go home. Xing Xiao didn't say anything else. He just held Muchichi in his arms. Let your sixth brother negotiate the contract tomorrow. Bring your seventh sister back too. Pretend that nothing happened. Just pretend that I don't exist in the Sheng family. Having said that, Xing Xiao turned around and walked out of the study without looking back. However, when he entered the dining room and saw the rich dishes, Xing Xiao didn't say anything. He signaled the servants to flip the table so that no one could eat. Grandpa Sheng was also very angry, especially when Xing Xiao threatened him. Could it be that Huang Yao couldn't succeed without him, the crown prince? Tomorrow he would ask sixth brother to hand over all the projects that Xing Xiao was currently working on to him. Mama Xing didn't know what happened at all. She only heard from the butler that sixth brother left angrily. Then Xing Xiao and Grandpa Sheng had a big fight. After that, Xing Xiao asked the servants to flip the table. Grandpa Sheng also came late at night and gave the order to hand over all the projects that Xing Xiao was working on to sixth brother. Did that mean that he wanted to change the crown prince? After Mama Xing heard that, she knew that this incident was caused by Grandpa Sheng's fickle emotions. So, she didn't want to persuade her son to bow down to him. No one wanted their child to be wronged. If sixth brother could do what Xing Xiao did, he wouldn't have been doing nothing for so many years. But since Grandpa Sheng wanted to make this bet, she would make it. Anyway, she would never let her child be wronged for the sake of harmony. On the way back, Muchichi looked at Xing Xiao worriedly. Because in her impression, Xing Xiao had never been so angry for anyone. What? Are you blaming yourself again? No. Muchichi quickly shook her head. I'm just worried that you're too angry. Little one, I didn't dote on you for nothing. Xing Xiao laughed in anger and brought Muchichi back to Jing Ting. Then he threw her a laptop and a gold card. You're on vacation anyway. Let's find a nice place and go on a trip. Are you serious? Didn't you hear what Grandpa said? Let sixth brother take over. Xing Xiao pinched Muchichi's chin. I couldn't ask for more. Then I'll really find a place. Xing Xiao kissed her on the lips and nodded. Find someone you like. While you're at it, let's see how capable sixth brother is. Was Grandpa Sheng trying to keep Xing Xiao in check? That old man really didn't understand his grandson. Xing Xiao was never one to care about those things, and he didn't care about his status in Huangyao. If Grandpa Sheng dared to blacklist him in Jianchuan, he could make him regret it for the rest of his life. After all, Xing Xiao was a man who wouldn't be swayed by force or persuasion. Since the Sheng family didn't acknowledge he didn't need their acknowledgement either. Sheng Minglan heard the news from Jing Yun in the middle of the night. She wanted to call Xing Xiao and comfort him. But when she thought about it, she decided to let Xing Xiao vent his anger. It was obvious that Grandpa Sheng was being irresponsible this time. It was unreasonable. Although he was never reasonable. But against an opponent like Xing Xiao, it was like a king meeting a king. A checkmate. You're tuning in to the Han Li's Wuxia Chronicles YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.